What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
I'm Tom.
We're going to be doing our NFL free agency recap, something that we already did a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever the case may be. It got deleted, it got corrupted, it's gone. So we're going to do it again. But there's some news, some interesting stuff going on in two sports, in baseball and in basketball. Shohei Ohtani, his interpreter, accused of sports betting. Some people think it's Ohtani. $4.5 million in debt. And then Jontay Porter winning some people a lot of money. So we're going to get into all of that. But before we get into all of that, huge shout out to our new partners over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best daily fantasy sports game. In the pick'em mode, you can win up to 20 times your money. You pick any player and you select higher or lower on a given stat. You could have 2 to 5 different players in a select entry. The more players in your entry, the more money you could win. Make sure you use our code BallGame for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Check this map on the screen to see if Underdog's available in your state. Again, make sure you sign up for Underdog Fantasy and use our code BallGame for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Thanks again to our partners over at Underdog. All right, yeah, huge shout out to our partners over at Underdog. There's a game tonight, the Mavericks versus the Kings, so we're going to give you guys an entry for that game. I'm going to get it started. I'm taking the higher on Luka Doncic triple-doubles. We get that 1.5 boost to triple-double for Luka. It's easy money.
I am taking the higher on Kyrie Irving at 24.5 points. Kyrie's a walking bucket, averaging 25, and Luka's a game-time decision. So let's hope he.
Oh, nice. His props up here. So.
Let's hope he gets it.
He has a little Achilles thing going on right
Yeah.
now, so it's very dependent on whether he plays or not.
But even if he does play, I'd still ride the Kyrie line.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm taking higher, 44.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Domantas Sabonis. Triple-double machine, double-double machine at bare minimum. So yeah, I'm taking Sabonis and his higher than 44.
I look at those and that's just so many.
Yeah, it is.
Like the guy has 54 straight double-doubles.
It is,
so,
and
yeah.
I mean he's averaging like 13 rebounds.
He'll get it
14
done.
Rebounds
Yeah,
a
he'll get it
game.
done.
Yeah, I mean I'm expecting him to have a big game.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to change mine since Luka might not play. I'll take the lower on Keegan Murray, 17.5 points.
Nice.
There we go.
there we go.
Lowers are kind of the way to go.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's tough. I can never pick the lower.
I always say life's too short to bet the lower. But
It's just I don't want to root against the guy.
yeah.
I don't want to do that. So, I want everyone to go get their buckets. So I'll never take a lower. I just can't do it. I refuse.
Respect. I respect it.
A lot of stuff going on in the sports world right
Yeah,
now.
speaking of taking lowers.
Sports.
Yeah, so
Jontay, man, that's we could jump into the Jontay
Yo,
once
that's
we're on
some,
the
like-
basketball, and that's the lesser of the two. I feel like right now.
That's how I found out him and Michael Porter were brothers.
Really?
I did not know that.
No way.
Until someone titled like they made their caption whatever, Michael Porter's brother. Yeah, that's how I found out.
Bro. So the backstory of this is kind of wild because they were talking about it on the Pat McAfee show today, and they were saying how there was an irregularity in how many under bets that Jontay Porter had. And like a crazy amount of money was placed on it too.
Yeah.
And they were saying they had to I think shut it down or something. They didn't let the bet go through, or you have the full story up here, but yeah, I mean pretty much just like 10 grand I think was dropped on like a Jontay Porter under. And so the site was just like, yeah, timeout. What's happening
I think it was
here?
like Caesars or something, like a known
It was
site,
a known.
too.
It was a known sports book. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and yeah, alarms were going off because who's putting $10,000 on this
Well, he
no-name
also,
dude?
on
No
one
disrespect to
on one of
Jontay.
his games, he his line was, I don't know, let's say 3.5 points and 4.5 rebound, whatever. He hit all his unders, didn't take a 3-pointer. He hit all his unders and then left the game with some eye soreness or something.
Huh?
Like, it's crazy. It's like some mob shit you see out of a movie where they have
Point shaving and stuff
where
like
they have
that,
a guy's number and they're like, oh, you gotta pay. You want to
Have
pay
you
your
ever
debts.
seen One Tree Hill?
No, I haven't.
One Tree Hill. That happened
Trunks was
to
yelling at me.
that
about
happened to
over the
Nathan
weekend.
Scott. That happened to Nathan Scott, where he got into a little bit of trouble there, and he was supposed to point shave.
Yeah.
And didn't exactly do that, but yeah, it's a wild situation. It really is. Gambling is starting to take over the sports world, like entirely now.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's like crazy the amount of stories you hear of guys like Tyrese Halliburton said he feels like he's just a prop.
Yeah.
Because everyone just yells at him because he scored too many points or didn't have enough assists. Like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how much gambling like influences people's lives.
It's crazy how much money gets gambled on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
On anything.
Yeah.
On anything. We have friends that aren't afraid to throw money around.
No, we got friends that throw down, man.
We have friends that definitely aren't afraid to throw some money down. So, and I'm learning that very quickly in this March.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names.
One of them sitting here behind the
Oh, okay. I mean, you're naming
behind the mic.
You're naming names.
He loves to throw down, man.
Bro, I would never.
What do you mean? You would never what?
Would never.
Just in general, you would never?
I always do.
Yeah, it's a wild situation right now.
Yeah.
Gambling has taken over sports, the world of sports. It is now the most influential.
It's always been like you don't know how many athletes over the years have been in that situation, like where they were in a ton of debt themselves, and they went and borrowed money from, some shady people, and those shady people were like, oh, you want to pay me back? You gotta do this, this, and this. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how fast you could spend those game checks.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I guess so, man. Yeah.
So, like, when you're not used to having that much money, like, you'd think that you'd be able to, like, hold on to it.
Yeah.
But when you now get comfortable having that amount of money, I feel like you just start blowing that shit. Just blowing it. Like, oh, it's going to come back in due time. But
Yeah.
then you spend more than you can handle, and, shit happens. One thing leads to another, whatever. But
Especially you give these guys, like, you're talking 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds getting this kind of money sometimes. Like,
you can't trust them to be
it's
fiscally responsible. You just can't. So, I don't know, man. Look, nothing's guaranteed yet with Jontay.
right.
Nothing.
Innocent until proven guilty.
But I don't know. It's a little fishy.
It's
a little
it's not
fishy.
looking good. Yeah.
It's not looking too good for Jontay Porter right now.
A
man.
jury of his peers shall decide, but
I mean, yeah, he's guilty. Like he's guilty. It was two occurrences, January 26th and then recently March 20th. But both times his unders on his props, he was like the most bet on player those nights on DraftKings.
that's
So like
crazy.
he's
Yeah,
definitely
that's crazy.
guilty.
Yeah.
If you're
Wow.
he's the most bet on player both times that shit happened. Yeah, no.
Yeah, Oh, okay.
Call
Yeah.
red-handed, buddy.
Yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked.
Get
You
rid
do it once, you get away with it. Okay, you're done. Don't do it again. Don't do
Yeah.
it again. Because then when you start getting into that, like, oh, I got away with it the first time. Let me try it again. Not always gonna work. Not always gonna work. So, don't get greedy.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Moral of the story:
you're outta
don't
here.
get greedy. Don't get greedy. I wonder if MPJ got a little involved in this one. I'm a little nervous about that.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't involve Michael. Don't involve Michael in this one. I'm just hoping Michael steers clear of all this too. So
Yeah.
I just wonder why he's doing it. Like if he's trying
honestly,
to make a
like-
bag or he's trying to make his friend
I was gonna
a
say
bag.
most like,
family.
bro,
family bags.
maybe he like he's in trouble and like lost a lot of money. I'm telling you, it happens more often than you think. Like, so people,
You just
it's
get involved with
possible,
shady shit.
It's getting into the conspiracy territory now, but like, it has happened over the course of time.
I also hate to put it this way, but sometimes it's also who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Where you end up like hiring the wrong person and putting money in the wrong person's hands, as we may talk about in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you put money in the wrong people's hands, and all of a sudden that shit's gone, and now you're in a hole.
Yeah.
Someone just took a whole lot of your money, and you can't do anything about it. So now you're in this severe hole of debt, and it's like, what do I do now? So I don't know, man. Not free Jontay, but like,
If he didn't do it, then free him. But
yeah,
it looks
but
like he did
it's
it.
pretty,
so
pretty sure
get
he
him
did.
out.
So you know,
But what did he do? Like he did it.
Bet on
he's
himself.
guilty, but like did he?
He
though?
either
bet on
bet-
his own under.
he
though.
either
That's
bet
the
on himself
problem.
or he knew other people were betting on him,
Yes.
and so he didn't score,
Or
checked
told them
himself
to
out of the
do
game.
so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just that's a little fishy.
My question is how how if he's the most bet on player, how does everybody know that's the night where he's gonna do that shady shit?
That's
the point.
why he was the
That's
most
why he
bet
was the
on
most
player.
bet on player. He told them he was gonna pull.
That's what's
He
being
said,
assumed,
"Take my
yeah.
bro." He went in the game, played 4 minutes, and left with an eye injury,
Yeah,
and everyone
Right,
took his unders. Yeah,
Oh shit! Damn,
like an
Ah.
abnormal amount of money on those
Yeah, he's
nights.
cooked.
that's crazy.
So yeah,
Keep him locked up. Fuck that dude.
damn, bro.
Judge, jury, and executioner over here.
Damn. Okay, all right. Well, there's Nick's sentence.
Yeah.
All right, but over to the other news, the bigger news of a guy that I think is pretty well known worldwide in sports. So Shohei Ohtani and his interpreter. Well, I guess we're gonna have to pin this on the interpreter because that's who is getting the blame here. I have my thoughts on this, but apparently the interpreter took out $4.5 million from Ohtani's account in like $500,000 increments or something like that. There's like, I kid you not, 3 different stories that has been told by Shohei himself and his team. So we were talking about some fishy shit going on in this Jontay situation. This is a whole nother level because we don't really know what the actual story is. So, I mean, okay, so from surface level, it's just $4.5 million taken out. This is the first story to pay off his translator's gambling debt to a bookie. Not even through a legitimate site, through a bookie, which, by the way, or not a bookie, whatever it is. It is a bookie, like that's the
Bookie.
middleman, whatever it is, but whatever.
Loan Shark is more.
$4.5 million, and it was first of all, that's illegal in and of
yeah.
itself. That is
Oh, very.
illegal in and of itself.
Very.
So Shohei being involved in this in the first place was illegal. So that was their first story, and he paid it off for his translator. Now the news story that Shohei's putting out is that he had no idea that any of this was going on. Because obviously you get the blowback where it's like, oh, what you did was still illegal. So now it's like, okay, we have to change our story. So I'm curious. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I find it funny that it's his translator because what if he's just like, yo, this guy's got a great idea, $500,000, and it's the best investment you'll ever make. So he's like, all right. And then he gives him the $500,000 and he just fucking goes and gambles it. That's funny to me. But nah, seriously, like this is like that's bad if he knew what it was for and gave it to him anyway. That could really blow back on him. Like that's a serious like federal crime. That's really, really bad. And some people think like he was placing bets for Shohei. I don't know. I don't know how much gravity that has to it, but yeah, like I said, if Shohei knew what it was for and gave him the money, that's really bad. Now, can they prove that? I don't know. I mean, the interpreter could spin it that way to, make himself look better, but who knows?
yeah. It seems all so fishy. But like I just read like, all right, like it could make sense. Like another former interpreter of another player was saying like when he was doing that, he had access to everything. Because they didn't really know any better, so they helped them set up their bank accounts and go to the DMV and get a license and all that stuff. So they had access to that stuff, but shit, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would, like me personally, I probably wouldn't let anyone have access to $4.5 million.
fucking crazy.
I mean, unless it was
like
someone
without
like,
me knowing.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. But
Without
that
me
has to
knowing.
be his, like one of his closest friends.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to assume. He's by you for everything. So I just,
or if not, like someone should be watching this account.
It
like
should
a
be
hawk,
monitored.
Yeah, exactly.
like when there's that much
yeah,
money
you
involved,
make way too much money to not. To be
you need to
careless
have a
with it,
financial
yeah.
advisor that's
Yeah, absolutely.
constantly staying on top of this stuff. But like, my problem comes in here. It's like I would agree if he might have access, whatever. That like I understand that. My problem is the fact that the story changed. Where'd that come from? Why? So you said you knew about the gambling debt and you paid it off for your translator. That's illegal.
Yeah, that's a whole crime.
That was the first story. That in and of itself is illegal. So Shohei would then be in trouble. But then
He didn't have his interpreter to tell him it was illegal. He was like, I didn't know that shit.
so you have that, and then all of a sudden, like the interpreter maybe could have saved you a little bit, but I don't even know. Like it's just now you have this whole brand new story where it's like, oh, I had no idea that he took the money, that he was gambling with it, that all this stuff. So it's just you had your story changed, and I'm just like, I understand what's happening here. The MLB isn't gonna drop the hammer on the face of
They
their
do a fucking thing.
They are not dropping the
They're not gonna
hammer
do a
on the
fucking
most
thing.
exciting baseball player they have quite possibly ever had.
No.
So
That's what I was just about to say. Like, what if it was just some, like, below average player, like some rookie?
you can forget about
Yeah,
it.
he's
He's
gone.
gone.
But it's
Gone.
it's
Never to
Shohei
play in the
Ohtani,
MLB
bro.
again.
Yeah.
So all I know is you best open that Hall of Fame to Pete Rose now. Because
Bro, yeah.
that man deserves to be in there. And if we're gonna do
It's
this,
a crazy double standard.
we're gonna do this with our golden boy now and Shohei. Might
Bro.
have to
It just looks.
he looks like
so
the meme.
goofy.
He looks like the meme, bro.
Oh, LeBron's just so unintentionally funny. But go ahead.
So yeah, this whole Shohei thing is wild.
How do they even investigate it? Like, what are they looking for in their investigation?
Probably. I don't know.
I think
I would imagine like
account
transaction
statements,
history, stuff like that.
dates.
But that only
it was
tells like how
taken
much
out.
went in, how much went out.
Not who was taking it.
You don't
and
necessarily
who's putting
know.
it in.
I mean,
So-
like
Yeah.
you can't just like withdraw 500 grand either. Like you gotta. There's ways you gotta do that.
Like who was there?
Yeah.
How did it go, how did it happen? Through what phone? Through what device? And probably go through Shohei's texts too. Like this is, but again, like I
You gotta
said,
get warrants for that stuff.
they're
and all
not
that,
gonna
yeah.
do it. They're gonna
Well, the
say
MLB
they'll
isn't.
do it.
I mean,
The MLB is going to say they'll do all this investigation. We'll see about criminal investigation and stuff. But even then, bro, like, I hate to put it this way, but I don't think anything's past being
yeah,
paid
but
off.
yeah, that's true.
I'll put it
Also,
like
if it's
that.
Shohei's money and he doesn't like press charges or anything, then you know
And I'll tell you right now, they
still
will.
embezzlement, But
I have a strong feeling that even if this translator like is to comply and say like, yo, 100%, which he has agreed like that the news story is Shohei had no idea. And
yeah.
I'm telling you right now, there is under the table money going straight to this translator that it's like, you will never speak a word about the truth of this
Bro.
situation and you will be our fall guy. Like you will be the fall guy.
Shohei just got a $20 billion contract.
Yeah, like-
he can afford to pay this guy off.
Yeah, he's going to. This is.
He's not. No one's doing any jail time or
Some
anything like
crazy
that. It's
shit,
not gonna
man.
happen, but-
Some crazy shit. The world of gambling is taking over.
Yeah, so what's next for not for Shohei, for sports gambling? I mean, two
sports gambling?
scandals like this in a week
In a
is
week, bro.
pretty
It's all-
insane.
It's
and
all gonna. It's
only
all gonna be rigged.
I mean, yeah, that's
what's
what
next, bro.
that's what
Like-
people are saying, and it's
Yeah.
only gonna keep growing, and more people are gonna bet and stuff like that. So, how do you regulate it so shit like this doesn't happen?
I mean, Jontay Porter's got to get hit hard. Like Shohei, like we said, nothing's
Yup.
gonna happen to him. But like people are gonna understand too that Shohei Ohtani can get away with things that I can't. But if they're
Yes,
looking
agreed.
at, but if you got NBA players out here, like if Jontay Porter got away with this, like I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
You know, so he's got to.
He's gonna get the absolute
Adam Silver's
hammer
gotta
dropped
yeah.
on him. Like he might
Yeah.
he might get banned from the NBA forever. Like that's likely what's going to happen now. As for Shohei, like I said, I expect nothing.
Nothing's gonna happen.
I expect
Shohei.
no repercussions.
and it's like,
um,
why were they even using an illegal bookie anyway? Just open a FanDuel account, unless
Well, you can't.
you're doing
You can't.
what?
Not allowed to as a
He's
player.
not allowed.
Right, exactly. So he is guilty then. Because if it was just the interpreter betting, he would have just been using FanDuel.
But also, if you use a bookie, you don't have to pay. Like you don't have to put it on your taxes or your tax statements or anything.
True.
You don't have to claim.
So
it.
none of that goes through you. Like you will not be known as the person placing the bets and stuff. You're just
Yeah.
getting the money through this guy, pretty much. So it's you obviously cannot bet if you're an NBA player and you're betting, for example, like your account is LeBron James 23.
LeBron James.
You're probably it's probably not
it's
the
hiding in
smartest
plain
thing to do.
sight.
I guess, yeah, I guess.
That's the logic behind it.
So
It's just
real
hiding in
or
plain sight.
with your email, like I don't know. I just Jontay Porter's gonna get the fucking hammer dropped on him. whether
Has to.
I mean, look, it's pretty safe to say he likely had something to do with this. Like, he likely had something to do with this. As for the Shohei situation, it's like he definitely has something to do with this. To what extent, we don't know. But I can tell you right now, this new story of I had no idea is complete and total fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
So I just don't know what extent.
There's no
he's
way
been
this guy
involved.
just stole $4.5 million from you, and it's so hard to believe that
Yeah.
he just stole $4.5 million from you. You had no idea about it.
Yeah.
How did they even like catch him? Like, how'd they find out he stole it, or who found out?
I don't even know. I don't even know.
Interesting.
I
don't know.
really
Yeah, I mean,
just have no clue. When those reports came out, I was so confused at first.
Yeah.
So it's wild. And I don't know how you regulate this. I don't know realistically how you like avoid this from happening in the future. It's almost unavoidable. This is the future of sports. It's just gonna
Right.
continue getting,
because even if you do like punish this guy, like it's Shohei Ohtani, like you need him in
Yes.
baseball.
and you can't like, control gambling because it's such a boon for the economy too. Like, it's one of the biggest money
There's
makers
so
for
many
the entire
levels.
economy.
There's so many
There's-
levels to it too. Like, everyone
exactly.
makes
So
money from
it's just I don't know. I really, but it's a good thing that
Sure.
I don't get paid to make
I was gonna say.
decisions like this.
I was just gonna say that it's for higher minds than us. Higher
It's
authority.
a good
higher
thing I
authority than
don't
us.
get paid to make decisions like this because clearly I'm not intelligent enough to
We're-
come up with a solution.
At the end of the day, the only thing that changes for us is, maybe next time we're arguing something, I'm like, yeah, well, it's all fucking rigged anyway. And we just end the podcast because
That's-
I could be right.
It's a great point, honestly. It's a
But-
great point.
We'll assume it's not.
You could never lose a debate because you could just say it's rigged.
I have a cousin that says that shit all the time. He's like, yeah, I don't watch football anymore. It's all rigged. I'm like, well, they take all the fun.
It's
out of it
rigged
then.
for Mahomes.
Yeah, whatever.
Shut up.
I'm like,
Enough.
yeah, well, it takes all the fun out of it. I'm just gonna assume it's not. I'm just gonna be naive.
Exactly.
Ignorance is bliss.
Do you have any solution to this potentially?
No, I don't-
Yeah, Don't give
Okay.
it. Don't give it out for free. If you
All right,
do.
cool.
Yeah, I don't-
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's a
I don't
paywall
really know.
right here.
There's not really anything you can do. I mean, you gotta probably. I mean, I'm sure it already is in all these guys' contracts, like rules against this shit.
There
so,
is. There absolutely.
Like the only
is.
thing
Plenty
I'll
of them.
suggest is tightening up on those rules and making them even like stricter, I guess. But shit, man, if there's illegal bookies and translators, you can get away with it.
You
I
can't
don't
get away with
know.
anything. You really can. So, yeah, I mean,
Like-
that's
Like if I was in the NBA, right, and me and Nick, we went to high school together. Me and Nick, we had social studies class together. We keep in touch. We're good friends. Why couldn't I just say, "Yo, Nick, I'm gonna miss every shot today. Like, fuck it,
go
take
bet.
my fucking under."
Yeah, go bet mad
and
money on
Nick
me.
fucking throws fucking 300 beans on my fucking under and fucking.
And
make-
yo, here's $5,000. Put this for me, and you keep 20% or
Right.
something like that.
Right. Go ahead and fucking go up fucking 30, 40K. Something light. Who would ever know about that?
Well, apparently.
But that's
That's
the
what
thing.
Jontay Porter
So
was doing.
that's
Like,
the
say
thing.
LeBron-
Small amounts. You
Okay.
have to do it in
Like
small amounts.
say LeBron's streak of scoring 10 plus games, 10
Oh
plus
my
points
God,
in a
that's
game. Say it comes to an end. And there's a bunch of people who took LeBron's under on that game. Do you think the whole thing would be something like that? Where LeBron's been in the league for 21
Yep.
years and has scored 10 plus every single time. If he doesn't do it, I feel like they have to investigate.
Yes,
LeBron-
absolutely.
I think LeBron could punt an infant across
Like,
a
I'm not
highway and they wouldn't do
saying-
anything about it. So.
I'm not saying in that case LeBron would be guilty. Like maybe he just didn't score 10
Right.
points. But
Even
like
if he's
something
guilty,
that
he-
big, you have to investigate, though, right? Like,
So I like sure, but the thing is, even if he's guilty, he's innocent. Like
It's LeBron.
it's LeBron. So these different people,
As long as he doesn't come out and like blatantly admit, yeah, I did that shit, nothing they can do about it. Even then, they might not.
and even then they'll be like, you know what, you're LeBron, it's okay.
Yeah.
But
Something
dog,
like that. And if the sports
I
books
really
see,
don't think it is like that, though. I don't think it's really like that with Ohtani either right now. I would like to believe.
You don't think Ohtani's invincible with this?
I don't think with this. I think this is so new and so different that no. If it was something else, like some other type of scandal that wasn't sports betting, maybe. But, like, let's say down the line a month from now, we find out, like, Ohtani's mad guilty, betting like crazy, like fucking Houston Rockets money line, Houston Astros under.
I think you guys bet on the
yeah,
other.
whatever.
You can bet on the other sports.
Houston Astros money line, Jose Altuve under fucking one hit, whatever the fuck the case may be. He's just fucking betting like a madman. We find out about that because the thing is, even if the MLB wants to cover it up, they can't. It's 2024. Like they can't. They won't be. If he did something like super severe, they won't be able to cover his ass. I promise. Reddit and fucking TikTok, like they'll find out.
But
But
here's the thing: like, even if they do, you're not going to believe those sites. Like, that's just the thing. It's just going to become a
the thing is, they need like tangible evidence. They could just like it could be there, and they could just not try to find it. You know.
And you need a big corporation.
Like I said, ignorance is bliss. Yeah.
Yeah, this happened with this guy.
I guess if it was me, and let's say I was running the MLB, or I was running the NBA, and with Jontay Porter and Shohei, if I found enough evidence, like I'm making them like a poster boy. I don't care. Me personally, if I'm the commissioner, I don't give a fuck if it's Shohei Ohtani because, it could end sports altogether. If people could just throw games and fucking bet on it, why are we playing sports then?
No, I
You know what
agree with
mean?
you.
Like this is all so new, and like I feel like if people are doing this now and we don't do anything about it, then it's only gonna keep getting worse. So me, if I was the commissioner in any of these sports and I caught same way the NFL did with all those guys, Calvin Ridley, Isaiah Rodgers, all those guys. Like,
yeah, for sure. And I get that. But my issue with it,
that's just not how the world works, unfortunately.
my issue with it is, I would agree with you if Shohei hadn't outright said at first that he paid off his translators' gambling debt. Like, that was the original story. And that in and of itself is illegal. So, like, if these players, like, even if he's not throwing games, he's still just paid off this guy's sports gambling debt to a bookie, which now you're involved in an illegal
that's
process.
That's what I'm saying. So why?
But he's not going to get in trouble for it.
But the MLB can't penalize him for that. Technically, like
I'm sure you can. It's an illegal action.
Right, but if the federal government takes charge, like they're gonna penalize him.
Well, then it's I think potentially like jail time.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I guess the MLB could suspend him. I don't know.
And you'd have to be suspended. It's a criminal offense. I feel like you have to be suspended.
Hey, you say that, but you know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think to an extent, I hate to say it, some players are untouchable. Like, even if you dropped one tier in the MLB, I think now you're reaching a guy where it's like you can penalize him. But this is the face of baseball. This is a guy that just said, I'm going to the Dodgers, which is now one of the biggest brands in baseball, for the first contract in MLB history that has most of the money deferred.
I don't know, bro. I don't see it like that, bro. They had fucking Kobe going to fucking court on national TV before fucking playoff games. They had fucking Tom Brady any chance they got to potentially fucking get something on Tom Brady. They tried to fucking investigate his ass.
Baseball's dying.
I guess.
There's my difference.
I guess, but my difference is that sports betting is going to take over the world. So if you don't act on it, then it'll just.
That was also like the Brady thing. Like people love that shit. Like people were watching to watch that. Like people aren't going to watch baseball to not watch Ohtani. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that brought in.
I don't know.
You know, they say any publicity is bad publicity, but like any publicity is good.
You're saying that Tom Brady being suspended makes people watch football more? than if he isn't
I thought there was more. I thought what I'm saying is
His
I think
comeback from the suspension.
there was but there was more dialogue around that, and like people were arguing about it. Should he be suspended? Should he not? Did he do it? Did he not? So in the end, it brings more attention to the NFL.
It'd be the same exact thing with this.
It definitely has brought eyes to the MLB. I'll tell you that much.
We're a basketball and football podcast.
We don't talk
Yeah,
baseball, and
yeah.
here we are spending 30 minutes on a baseball topic. Like, I'm a big baseball guy, but
We just hit 30 minutes on the dot when you said that.
no way.
Is that crazy?
That was actually kind of wild.
Trunks is saying, why is giving someone money for that illegal? Because he's using it to illegally pay off a bookie that he illegally placed bets with. He's
Like,
using
even if it is
for criminal
even if
purposes.
it is his translator's book,
and Shohei acknowledged what he was using it for. So
Even-
like that's a crime.
to explain the process, Trunks, it's pretty much just even if another person has used a bookie, you are now using your money for an illegal process. You outright did something that was illegal.
Technically, I think this is true, but I could be wrong. Technically, even if he didn't know what the money was for, it's still technically a
yes,
crime. Like they might
is.
if he can prove he didn't know what it was for, they'll probably go easy on him and everything. But like even at like Trunks, if you bought drugs and you were like, yo,
But you thought
I
they
owe
were
the-
candy.
I owe this drug dealer a bunch of money. Can you give me the money? And I give you the money, and you go and pay the drug dealer. I'm a criminal, 100%. So don't do that.
Yeah, even if he thought it was like candy,
Yeah,
he's
even if
still
even if you said, "Yo, I bought a lot of candy from this guy," and I'm like, "How do you buy $3,000 worth of candy?" But nah, I got you, bro. You're my boy. And then some guy in a suit knocks on my door and is like, "Hey, you know this redhead?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's my friend."
By the way, this is a true story.
Yeah,
Trunks
no, it's 100%
is a
happened.
criminal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, one way.
Trunks
yeah.
and Tom are both criminals.
Yeah, this is how I got caught.
This was a setup.
I am a low level Shohei Ohtani.
This-
and Trunks
this was
is my
a setup.
translator.
But yeah, it's a complex scenario. I don't know what the future is with this. I really don't, and I don't know how you regulate it, control it. Like the Jontay Porter situation, they'll drop the hammer on him. He'll never be able to play basketball again in the NBA. But with the Shohei situation, given that there's such a gray area,
There's no precedent.
even if it was obvious that he did something, yes, they're dropping the hammer on him, it's over. But since there's this
Right.
massive
I mean-
gray area, you have an out.
Right.
That's how I'll put it.
yeah,
You
I
have an
agree
out because
completely.
there's a gray area here where we don't really know
Like,
what
yeah,
happened.
if there's irrefutable proof that he used it for gambling, yes, they have to
Yes.
they have to suspend him. They have to do what they have to do.
Like for Tom Brady, there was irrefutable
Right.
proof with
Yeah, yeah.
the Bulls. Like regardless of whether it was Tom that did it or
those
not.
balls were light.
Yes, exactly. So with Shohei, there's a gray area. We don't know. So
And they might not bother to investigate much further.
exactly.
They'll just be like, we didn't turn it
For the fear of potentially more information coming out about
I don't know, bro. I don't
Their guy.
like Shohei's the guy, but like I feel me personally, if I was commissioner, I think the integrity of the entire
game is at stake.
sport is at
No,
stake.
we're not
Yeah.
saying that's right. We're just saying that's what's going to happen.
No,
like
no,
that's
no,
just
yeah.
that's just how corporate America works. Like,
Yeah, I definitely
that's your poster boy. You know,
I don't agree with
you don't
what's going to
want- you
happen
want
and
him
how
out there as much as you possibly can,
exactly.
and you don't want him to look bad either.
So if there was no out here, I would agree with you. They would then, make sure that he's penalized to the fullest extent. But given that
But
there
what's
is
the out?
the gray area.
The out is they don't
Right,
know.
but the gray area, you're saying, okay, the MLB could have an out because there's a gray area, but then you're also saying that this could be a fucking criminal offense.
Well, it is a criminal offense.
Right, so
if
there's
true.
there's gray areas if the fucking law gets involved in.
So, as
shit.
I said before,
Well,
as much as I
yeah.
hate to say this, anything can be paid off, especially when you're a sports corporation and how much money they have under their possession.
It's not even that. If that was actually an admission of guilt, like he for whatever reason it isn't, but like if that was actually an admission of guilt, he probably would have been like arrested by now. But for whatever reason, that's not an actual. I don't know why, but you know what I mean. Like he definitely would have been suspended if they were like, yeah, this kid. I don't know. Yeah, it's strange.
That's where I'm like, I don't know. And what I've come to realize is that sports really does have so much swing on everything. Like everything. Like players could get away with stuff that they shouldn't be able to get away with just because they're athletes. Like there's stuff that like honestly gambling on your own sport is a horrific offense. And I will say, if you gamble on your team to win and do well and you to do well and all that, like I'm going to be like, all right, that's funny as hell because like you're betting on yourself in a good way. But when you're pretty much purposely shaving
why didn't Jontay
points,
Porter just go out there and score 6 points and make everyone happy?
Exactly. Like
guy
when
just
you're
didn't believe in himself. Just a little confidence, man. You'd still be out there.
when you're shaving points, it's a completely different story. So, but yeah, I've seen players get away with. We have seen players get away with shit and still be playing in a league when they have no business still playing in this league. So, I don't know. This is a situation where if you have an out, you're going to take the out, especially when it's the best player in your sport. So, I don't know. That's where I stand on this whole thing. Do I think it's right? No. Do I think it's what's going to happen? Yes.
Yeah, I don't really know what he did, so I don't really know what's right or wrong. All I'm saying, though, is that if they do investigate and he is guilty of something, like they're going to
If
punish.
the
He's gonna get
information is
punished.
fully
Yeah.
out to the public, yes, 100% I agree with you. Because then you can't do anything about it. But to this extent, to this point, with as much gray area as there is, the MLB ain't going to do nothing until there's 100% proof and evidence that Shohei Ohtani did something wrong.
Yeah.
So that is that. All right. a lot of talking about rigging sports. But you know what? Let's actually get into some stuff where teams are ramping up in the NFL, trying to put together the best possible team, and they're not doing these things through illegal means. They're doing these things through very legal means, signing free agents. Draft is coming up soon. So just a few teams that we definitely want to speak about with this whole free agency period. There's definitely one guy that I want to talk about quite a bit. Where is he? He's over my left shoulder. All right. We'll get it started with that guy right there. I just want to say shout out to the man Saquon Barkley for getting his bag. But at the same time, go fuck yourself and die, Eagles, die. That's that. That's about all I got to say about that one.
It's funny how like you had like respect like a couple weeks ago and like it's just slowly burning and getting like hard.
Oh,
I think he was more respectful there. Than
I
he
was very much more
than he was a
respectful
couple
than I
weeks ago.
was in that
now
other
Now
episode.
that it simmered a little bit, I was never on the fuck Barkley thing. Like, we didn't pay him. What do you want him to do, bro? Like, he went and got his money. What do you want?
Well, he passed up on the similar contract the year prior, but that's neither here nor
I mean,
there.
that was a bet on himself kind of thing. I guess he thought, he would have got
I guess it worked.
more money last year. I mean, I think it worked out for everyone in the end. So, now he's going to run for 400 yards on us twice a year, but that's okay. It is what it is. Yeah, Saquon got paid, man. I'm looking at are we going to talk about the Eagles overall, or we just want to?
We could
Okay,
quickly touch on the Eagles.
So I'll mention the significant signings. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Devin White, Bryce Huff, brought back Brandon Graham, brought in Devontae Parker for some reason. Landon Dickerson is
that's a
back.
crazy shot at Devontae Parker.
I'm sorry, man. He just don't got it. No
He's
more.
watching this.
If you're watching this, I'm standing on it. I'm sorry. I can't apologize to him. Like,
You're no
he
longer
just
good at
wasn't.
football.
He
It's
wasn't
okay.
that good last year. He'd probably be a lot better with the Eagles. I mean, no wide receiver was
He's
good on
just
the
not good
Patriots.
anymore. He's just
All right. Well, I tried. But no, the Eagles had a really good offseason. I think a couple weeks ago you and I had them at number one, right? As the best free agency.
Biggest
that was
winners.
before a couple other moves, but
Maybe when we did our biggest winners thing, I think
they're still
I
up
might have
there.
had
If
the
not,
Eagles.
I'd have the list right here actually. They're still one of the biggest winners of free agency. Yeah, they killed it, man.
Even though they lost two guys.
Lost
and-
Kelsey, lost Fletcher Cox,
Yep.
which, on the field they were, Fletcher Cox wasn't what he once was. Jason Kelsey was still the best at what he did, pretty much. One of the best. And two huge locker room presences, and they bounced back in a great way. So, Howie Rosie.
Eagles do
Howie Roseman.
Eagle things.
Yeah.
It's every offseason.
Howie did Howie. That's all.
It's every offseason. Even when you think their offensive line is going to get worse, they still have these.
They haven't had a bad offensive line in like a decade.
Exactly.
It's
So
fucking ridiculous.
You know, it's just one of those teams where you just trust the process. Whatever they do is
Right.
going to work out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about the Eagles. They once again killed the offseason. They signed Bryce Huff. That's a guy you didn't mention, I don't think.
I think I did.
Maybe you did, but that's a big move too. Giants were going after him. Didn't work out. He's an absolute dog, elite pass rusher. You keep him in that same rotational role. Why change up what works for a guy? Sign him to what you know he could do best. So, yeah, Eagles just continue to kill it. But any thoughts on the Eagles offseason, Chris?
No, I didn't think they really did much. Bryce Huff is cool. He'll be good for them in their rotational pass rush, but their secondary's dog shit. They brought back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who wasn't good for them 2 years ago when he was there. And the secondary's still dog shit. So
he's a spiritual leader.
he doesn't like Philadelphia. He said.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
That's
that
what
they
I'm saying.
signed him back.
Right.
And he said he hates Philly fans
He's like,
and stuff.
Right.
My bad,
So
guys.
funny, bro. I'm sure they're gonna attack secondary in the draft. They're gonna get younger. Bradbury's finished, but I think there's still a little bit of
Debo Samuel killed that man.
Yeah, it's
Killed that
rough.
man.
Bradbury's cooked, but yeah, I mean, I think they'll somehow manage to fill out the secondary in the draft as they usually do, or late signings. There's still some corners out there that are effective, like Adoree Jackson, Stephon Gilmore's still out there too.
yeah.
So,
Justin
yeah.
Simmons is still out there.
yeah, big time safety. But yeah, all right. So enough with the Eagles. We don't got to talk too much in
Fuck
them.
the Eagles.
I do want to talk about our team, Tom.
Yeah, baby.
Our team had a very effective and strong offseason, prioritized the right positions, got rid of the wrong positions. You just got to value the positions that, are valuable now. Simple as that. I mean, you can't overpay a position that is dying, oversaturated. There's no reason to do that. But what you do is you make sure you get elite talent at high-level positions, and they did just that. Brian Burns trade, absolute coup. Love it. He's a dog. Extended him, gave him one of the biggest defensive contracts in the NFL, and it was well-deserved. He's a game wrecker, and it creates one hell of a trio along the defensive line in Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep.
We lost Xavier McKinney. We lost Saquon Barkley, but we beefed up the offensive line. We still need to add some weapons. I expect that in the draft. But all in all, I thought the Giants had a fantastic offseason.
Yeah, I did too. It was a bit of a slow start where I'm like, on that first day, whatever, where I'm like, oh, we're just, that meme of poking the stick. Come on, do something. And then they did something. They went out and got Brian Burns, which for a guy that was going for, 2 first-round picks last year, 3 first-round picks last year, something like that.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
2
2 years ago,
first-round
whatever,
picks,
yeah. He's, like you said, he's one of the best. They gave him 5 years up to $150 million for a reason. Him, Dex, and Kayvon, that's gonna be fun to watch. That linebacker core, Okereke, Micah McFadden, they got better as the year went on. The whole defense really got better as the year went on. But those guys in particular, Deonte Banks, we expect him to take a step up. And yeah,
Change his number. He's 3 now.
Right. Yeah, he's 3 now. And that's always a good thing.
It's just when you change your number, you instantly get like a +10 to every attribute.
100%.
Just because now you're like more comfortable.
100%.
So,
and we got Drew Lock, which
might be our starting quarterback next year.
cool ass dude. I'm okay with it. I'm cool with it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the draft.
Apparently, we might release Danny and just
Oh no,
suck it up with the money for the next season and a half.
that's so bad.
But it makes some sense. It makes a little bit of sense. So I'll put this out there. Apparently, in Danny's contract, there is an injury guarantee. If he gets hurt this season, his next season is fully guaranteed. Currently, if the Giants release Daniel Jones after this full
That's
season,
why they beefed up the offensive line finally.
after this full season, if they release Daniel Jones, they'd save about $22 million against the cap. Beautiful. But if Danny gets injured during the season, that salary next year is fully guaranteed. Can't do anything about it. So the Giants are thinking, why not bite the bullet? Release him now. Make sure that he doesn't get injured, because how's he going to get injured on our team
If he's not,
if he ain't playing?
that is the best way to avoid an injury is to not play.
So
scientifically proven.
So yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts? Because you're an unbiased perspective. I'm very curious as to what you have to say about our team's offseason.
I think when Brian Burns is on the market, a player of that caliber, you go out and get him for that price. What was it, a second and a fifth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, second and a fifth. You go get that guy. All in all, I mean, they had a productive offseason. I like when a team goes out and makes moves rather than sitting and doing nothing, you know. Like you said, they beefed up the O-line, got John Runyon, got Illuminor. It's calm. They just really got to draft well. It really doesn't matter what they do in free agency if they don't hit their draft pick. So it should be interesting what they do in the draft because it's so obvious they need a receiver, but I feel like it's the Giant thing to do to take a fucking another tackle in the fucking top 10, which wouldn't be the worst thing, but in this draft, shit, man.
I mean, there is one. If he's there, there's one or two. Oh my God! Wow, what the hell just happened? But I mean, look, it's definitely not the worst thing in the world, but
it would be pretty sad.
I'm not even so sure that receiver's gonna be the pick. Because I wouldn't be surprised if we took a quarterback.
I was going to say, it's quarterback or receiver, 100%.
I agree.
Yeah. JJ's flying up draft boards from what I'm hearing for a lot of teams.
I think a lot of it's smoke. The whole second overall pick thing, I don't think that's happening whatsoever.
That's crazy.
But I will say, J.J. McCarthy is a damn good NFL prospect. And, like, I know a lot of Giant fans aren't big McCarthy guys, but there's so much to love about J.J. McCarthy, and I've honestly completely done a 180 on how I feel about J.J. to the Giants. Originally, I was so against it, didn't want him drafted at 6.
Yeah.
Now, I'm all for it. If the Giants take J.J. McCarthy at 6 and sit him a year to learn under the Daboll system, and from what I've seen with Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito. Yeah, I forgot his name. Tommy DeVito. I'm going to trust that Brian Daboll can do some serious shit with a 6'3", 200+ pound quarterback that can run like a 4.6, 4.5, and has an absolute cannon of an arm. So I love the fact that he's a national champion. No, he didn't do too much, but he was the best third down passer in all of college football. That has to stand for something. On the money downs, J.J. McCarthy is that guy. I think he translates well to the NFL. I think he translates really well. So, I don't know, man. That's for draft talk when that time comes. But all in all, hit on your draft picks, and we're going to be a very capable football team in a couple years. So, maybe even this year. Who the hell knows? But I will also say there's one guy that I definitely want overall at number 6, and that is Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Malik Neighbors is my absolute guy. So, I love it. I love what we've done so far through free agency and prioritizing the premium positions rather than paying a running back and paying a safety. So, happy for McKinney. Happy for Barkley. Both got their bags.
Yeah, both got paid.
But it didn't need to be here.
Nope.
So, we did what we had to do, and I absolutely love it. So, we ready to move on to that other New York team?
Sure.
All right. So, when we did this a couple weeks ago, the Jets were probably one of our biggest losers.
I think I actually had them on my list. Yeah, I had them as my second biggest loser, actually.
So, the Jets were one of the biggest losers when we first did this. And now I think I could safely say they're probably a winner of the free agency period. I know Chris isn't too inspired by the Jets free agency class, but when your biggest issue was your number 2 receiver and your offensive line, and you attacked your number 2 receiver and your offensive line, I got to say it was a pretty damn good free agency period.
Yeah,
so,
with guys that you got to combine 10 games out
see,
of.
that's
they
the
did
issue.
Good. No, they did good. They'll be really good the first 5 weeks of the season. They'll be really good.
So you just don't like the fact that everyone's injury prone pretty much.
I mean, yeah, I feel like when you have a team that was completely derailed by injuries last year, it probably doesn't make sense to go bring in more injury prone players.
But what was the move then? If it wasn't Tyron Smith and Mike Will, what was the move for the Jets?
Let me find Hollywood
Well,
Brown.
it's not just
There was
Tyron Smith and Mike Will.
Right.
There
It
was
is
a
Tyron
million
Smith.
gajillion receivers.
No,
out there.
receivers,
So
yeah.
Mike
Receivers, I
Williams-
agree.
That
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with.
Tyron Smith, I mean, he probably was the best tackle available, but also he doesn't really
Stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Yeah.
Ever. But what they did was they at least added guys that when they do play, you know they will be productive. And worst case scenario, I know Mekhi Becton is gone now too, but you're replacing an injury-prone guy with another injury-prone guy. Maybe you get a few more games out of Tyron Smith. But you know when Tyron Smith is playing, Aaron Rodgers' blind side is locked down.
Right.
So even if that is for 5 games, it's 5 games of lockdown. So
No, yeah, it wasn't a bad move. It definitely was a good move. Like, yeah, it's fucking Tyron Smith. I mean, you go and get Aaron Rodgers, you're trying to win Super Bowls. Bringing in Tyron Smith and Mike Williams doesn't scream Super Bowl to me. Right? That's the goal for this team?
So the names scream it. It's just the injury history makes you fear it. And that's fair. But I also think they will be drafting another weapon at 10, most likely. Potentially Brock Bowers or even an offensive lineman. But I think they'll stay on that side of the ball, either build depth on the offensive line or add another weapon. And you still got that guy in Garrett. Like, no matter what, you still got that guy in Garrett Wilson.
No,
So
yeah, they're a good team. I don't think they suck. I just think their free agency could have, for a team that's trying to win a Super
and
Bowl,
Tyrod. Having Tyrod too helps because we've seen he's a more than capable backup. He's been a starter at points in this
It doesn't
league.
help you win Super Bowls, but
No, but it
but-
keeps you afloat
Yeah,
in
yeah.
case Rodgers does miss a game here and there. What was our biggest criticism of them? They didn't even
right.
attempt
Yeah.
to fill out that backup quarterback position. So, I do have to give them credit where it's due for filling out that backup quarterback position, which Zach Wilson's as good as gone now in trade rumors and stuff
Bro,
like
did you see
that.
what Woody Johnson said?
No, I didn't.
He
Actually.
was in some press conference and one of the reporters asked him about Zach Wilson and he was like, we still love Zach, whatever. And then he was like, if we don't trade him, we're gonna keep him. But for his sake, he should probably go somewhere else.
Oh my
That's literally
God.
what he said.
Damn.
He was like, he should get a clean slate, go
'cause
somewhere else.
He is right.
He's 100% right.
He's 100% right.
He's 100% right.
He's not even gonna be a backup here.
No, he's
So-
so yeah.
He's got it. Yeah, he's got to be gone out of New York, bro. It's a rough one. But they also traded for Morgan Moses, signed John Simpson. They attacked the offensive line, and I just, I got to give them credit where credit's due. They attacked the places that they needed to, whether
Yeah.
they're injury-prone guys or not.
I just don't. I don't agree with that. I don't think we could just call bringing in players at the positions they need attacking those positions. Attacking those positions would have been bringing in some of the top dogs at those positions that were free agents in a loaded free agency class at those not loaded tackle, but there were
Yeah, I was
tackles
about to
out.
say.
There were tackles out there. Maybe not as good as Tyron, but there were tackles out there who will at least play more games. And then in terms of receivers, there was a plethora of guys who I would rather have on my team than Mike Williams.
But-
Plethora of them.
But was there? Because a lot of the guys got franchise tag. The top names on the market got franchise tag. Like, yeah, sure, Hollywood Brown, but
Hollywood Brown was out there. Calvin Ridley was out there.
all right, the Calvin Ridley situation, you also got to worry about money here. You're not going to get Calvin Ridley for $24
Right, the Jets
million
aren't
a
giving
season.
him a 4-year
Jets are not
deal,
giving
yeah.
him that deal. That logically doesn't make sense for them. So they got Mike Williams, who, yes, may be injured at times, but also at the same time, they got him for a good price. Like, the potential that you get out of Mike Williams, and this is the thing with Mike Will. People have overreacted to the fact that
Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, Curtis Samuel, all these guys I would rather have than.
you would rather have Curtis
Really?
Samuel than...
Yes. Bro, Mike Williams has been in the league, 5 years? And he's barely played, dude.
See, but that's not true. That's what we think. Because Mike Will has had these, big injury issues, even in college. But he's played, I think, more than 14 games in 4 out of his 5 NFL seasons or 6 NFL seasons, whatever it is. He's played more than you think he's played. So,
Alright.
but yes, he's coming off a torn ACL. That's the problem. He's coming off a torn ACL. But Mike Will has played majority of his games every season. So,
Right, but then he burns out at the end. It's not like he's just missing 3 games in the middle of the season. He's getting hurt and then missing the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean,
This past year it just happened to be at game 3
yeah.
instead of game
it
15.
was 3 last
but-
year. It was 13 the year before that. But the years before that were 16, 15, 15, 16. But he's going to be 30, you know. That's a different story. It's different from when you're 25, you know.
it is. Coming off 20 nonetheless.
Yeah, coming off of 20, that's the thing that, he's 29 coming off of 20 ACL. And
Yeah.
he's a guy that relies a lot on his athleticism and ability to
I
go
just
up
feel
and
like
get the
your
ball,
two
you know?
biggest needs to fill those voids with guys who are old and injury prone. That's not attacking free agency to me.
I think Tyron Smith is that good, though. Like,
I
that's a chance you
agree.
have to
No,
take.
he's a dog, and I think he'll make them better when he's on the field. I still think the Jets are a playoff lock. Like, I don't think the
yeah.
Jets are a bad
I'm not
team,
even sure they're playoff lock.
but
That division's rough.
I think they had a chance to get much better than they did, and they didn't.
I disagree. I think they improved a lot. I think they improved tenfold, honestly. Because going into this offseason, what would you say was their biggest needs?
Offensive line and receiver.
Morgan Moses, John Simpson, Tyron Smith fills 3 big needs on the offensive line.
No, it does.
And sure, Tyron may get injured, but you still got Morgan Moses.
You do.
And you're going to hope.
I'm not saying they lost free agency. I'm just saying that they're not these insane, like, I don't think they bodied free agency and cooked. I think Tyron Smith, that you bring him in no matter what, Tyron. Like, when that guy's available,
Yeah,
you bring him in
100%.
for sure, obviously.
Yeah.
But it doesn't move me. It doesn't, like, I look at the Jets like, all right, like, cool, they got Tyron Smith. Their offensive line will be a little bit better. Mike Williams, like, okay, it's fucking Mike Williams. Like, he's a good
He's just
receiver.
got to be good enough to be better than Alan Lazard, bro. That's what we're asking here.
Yeah, which he
So-
will be.
Exactly.
Right,
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying, though.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, that obviously they got better, but I just don't like the moves. I don't know. If I was a GM, I wouldn't want to bring in both injury-prone guys. It just doesn't sit right with me. For a team that, again, their last 2 seasons were completely derailed by injuries.
I guess. I don't know, man. I feel very strongly about the Jets offseason. I actually love what they've done. Yes, they're injury prone, but they did what they could with what they had. That's also what we have to realize here. Like, sure, Tyron Smith probably got a massive 1-year deal, but Mike Williams, I don't think he got paid all that
1 year,
much.
15.
Okay, and I mean 1 year 15 isn't insane.
It's a
but
1 year deal. Yeah,
Exactly, it's a 1 year
Yeah,
deal.
whatever.
Are you gonna go give Calvin Ridley this 4-year, $92 million contract over giving Mike Will a 1 year 15 when we just saw Calvin Ridley struggle this season? And you're gonna commit 92 over the next 4 over to him? Like, what is that? The 7th, 8th highest paid receiver in the NFL?
If I could, I mean, the Jets are already fucked when Aaron
Well,
Rodgers
that's-
leaves
that's
anyway.
true.
So if I could get the best player I could to put a team around Aaron Rodgers, I'll do it.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll deal with the cap if 5 years from now when we're fucking having our reunion
When
with
we're
our
in
Super
hell.
Bowl team.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I guess that's a good point. That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. Bring the best. If the goal is to win a Super Bowl, so let's bring in the best players. Money isn't really a factor here with the Jets for me. I don't really care that they got Mike Williams on a team-friendly contract. That doesn't.
I also just I don't think the Jets are as potentially fucked as people think when Rodgers is gone now. Like, this whole Zach Wilson thing is now done, over with. It's finished. But you still have all these young pieces and an
Well, it's
elite
just about
defense
getting a replacement
to
for
where
Rodgers. Yeah.
you could get a replacement for Rodgers. I don't think it's incredibly impossible to just move on from Rodgers and go, yo, we're going to get this guy, bring this guy in, draft a quarterback, and you just keep moving forward.
It could happen. I don't know.
But I don't know. All you needed last year was just better than Zach Wilson at quarterback.
Better than Zach Wilson and better than, like you said, Lazard.
You have for example, Gardner Minshew. You'd probably win 10 games. 11 maybe.
Well, they lost a good amount.
yeah,
of,
like if
close
I was a
games.
Jets
Yeah,
fan,
yeah.
I'd be saying this offseason is a huge W.
Okay.
Like, we're going to make
Right,
the
yeah, yeah.
playoffs, like, because they haven't been in the playoffs. Like, I'm sure Dean was over the moon, but from an unbiased perspective, you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. That can only mean the ultimate goal is to win Super Bowls. So me personally, I don't want a bunch of injury-prone dudes on my team with an injury-prone quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think it's still open for Devontae Adams.
I think that'd be done, or at least being more talked about if it were.
Fair. That's fair.
I think that'd be a hot topic.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I think Devontae Adams wants to stay in Vegas because of whatever the fuck that guy's
Vince
name is.
Mania.
No, Antonio Pierce.
Oh, Antonio Pierce.
Wasn't he vouching for him the whole time?
He
Probably,
did.
yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He said he will ask out if they don't rehire
definitely.
Antonio Pierce. So did Max
That'll do it.
Crosby.
Yeah.
So did Josh Jacobs, who ended up leaving anyways. But yeah, all right. So we talked about Calvin Ridley before. We'll stay on that topic. The Tennessee Titans have, here's where I think I could safely say, attacked this offseason.
Right. This is attacking the offseason.
Yeah,
Right.
there it is. Okay. I think I could safely say the Tennessee Titans have fully attacked this offseason. I could just rattle off the biggest ones off the
I
top
have
of my
it here
head.
if you want, but yeah.
Calvin Ridley,
Yep.
4 years, 92.
What?
Tony Pollard, don't know nor care. 3 years, 24, I think.
What?
Yeah, there we go. L'Jarius Sneed traded to this team for a third-round pick and then given a 4-year, $76 million extension.
What?
And then this is the least of their worries. I mean, this isn't a popular one, but you signed Lloyd Cushenberry, one of the better young centers in the entire NFL. And that's a massive move for a team that has
dressed
a dog shit offensive line.
Exactly.
So I think it's safe to say this is boom or bust for Will Levis. If it doesn't work this year, they are moving right the fuck on. But I absolutely love the Tennessee Titans offseason. I love when you go and just try to get better. You try your best to make your team as good as possible.
I was gonna say not even get
In
better,
one
but like
offseason.
make your team the best you possibly can.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
So I got to give a big shout out to this team. A team that a lot of people thought was going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL coming into the season, and here they are. L'Jarius Sneed and Calvin Ridley, arguably the two biggest guys at their positions. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, what happened?
Nah, I just hit like a game winner, potentially.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you – so
I lost my train of thought.
I'll ask this. It all starts and ends right here. Do you think Will Levis is the guy? Are we
See, I think Will Levis is gonna be like one of those J-Bo kind of guys. Like he's gonna be super fun to watch. Is he gonna be like a franchise guy? I don't know. I don't know enough about him personally. But
I think
what
he
do you guys
has the
think?
tools, bro.
He has he's got a big arm. He's
athletic
yeah,
skills?
yeah.
Yeah, he has all the tools. And he has the pieces around him to at least make it look pretty. You know,
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
it might not be the most efficient at times, but it should be fun to watch, and
Yeah.
it should definitely be better than last year, just because the team's better than last year and he has more weapons around him. So I mean, do I think Will Levis is a franchise guy? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I think he can be.
Yes.
I do think he can be. I liked
I
Will
agree.
Levis coming out. I had him higher than Anthony Richardson coming out. So
Bro, wasn't he supposed to be like the fourth pick on draft
So
night?
there was
and then
a
just
lot of-
flew down.
Yes.
Yeah, flew to
Yes.
the second round. Yeah.
Yes.
I was wrong on that, by the way, everyone. Anthony Richardson was a much better prospect.
yeah.
I was just trying to be different, but
Oh, he's going to be so good with Shane Steichen.
no, Will Levis checked boxes for me. His footwork was kind of wonky, but I think you could, with the right quarterback coach and right OC, like that stuff could, you could kink that out.
I
figure it
agree.
out.
They made a head coaching change. Ryan Callahan, OC from the Bengals, and he brought in his dad, who is known as league-wide the best offensive line coach in the entire NFL. So that might be your biggest addition of the offseason, and you had massive free agency additions.
Yeah.
So not to mention that I think that they'll be drafting Joe Alt with the 8th overall pick.
Yeah.
Is what I would assume to happen, or 7th, whatever it is, which will add another piece to the offensive line. I will say one thing. I love the talent of Will Levis, but I think there's glaring flaws that I'm not sure are going to be fixed. Namely, his inability to see any pressure whatsoever. He had the second highest sack percentage in the entire NFL among all quarterbacks.
Who was first?
Believe it was Sam Howell.
Had to have been.
Yeah,
I
had
didn't
to have
look
been
at the
Sam
stat,
Howell,
but it
yeah.
had to have been
I
Sam Howell.
believe it was Sam Howell. Maybe it was Danny.
No, it
up
had
there
to be
too.
Sam Howell.
No,
But-
Sam Howell.
But yeah, Sam Howell was up there. It's a big. You just can't be getting hit that much. It's too many negative plays for your football team. And I'm not so sure. I'm not 100% sure that seeing pressure and being able to read the pressure is something that's just going to be taught so easily. So I don't know.
I think that is a learned skill though. Over time, no.
Most rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Definitely have trouble with
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
But
And I think both
To
the-
his
both
extent,
guys,
I
Sam
don't
Howell
know.
and Levis both played with probably the two worst offensive lines in football
Yeah.
last year. So like that matters too. Having better weapons matters too because you
Get
have
rid of
better
the
hots
football.
and stuff like that, and guys who you trust more to be open, so you'll get rid of the ball and such. So. No, he definitely has holes in his game, and that's why he wasn't a first-round pick,
Yeah.
and he was a project player. He wasn't supposed to start last year. I don't even know if he was really supposed to be the starter going into this year with their plans. I don't know if they were ready for that, but that's kind of just
Man, Tannehill fell off a cliff.
they
Yeah.
kind of just got forced into
Yeah.
this rebuild. But they said, "Fuck the rebuild. We're just gonna retool and try and put out a competitive product." I think they did a good job.
so my other question: of the moves that they've made? What's your favorite one?
Oh, getting L'Jarius Sneed,
Yeah.
getting the third best corner at worst in all football is a massive win.
Yeah, for sure. And they signed a Wootsy too, so like that's a
Yeah, no,
pretty
they
good. Yeah.
have some pieces on their
Yeah.
defense. They
Oh,
have
we might see
Jefferson
a game winner here. I don't know if we want to
Yeah, since there's
pause
30
real quick.
seconds.
Dame time. Oh, it's easy.
Oh,
That shit out of here.
AD.
3 more
You
points.
need 3 more points.
Yo, I think he's out the game though. I
Yeah, he
think
fouled out.
Yeah,
No,
he
he fouled
fouled
out.
out, bro.
I
Bro,
swear to
he's on
God.
the bench. You don't see him there on the bench?
I swear to God, they were showing his. He had a triple double, right? They were showing his stats before.
He's not in.
He fouled out, brother.
You're beat, Pete. You're so beat. You're so beat.
Did the mic hear that?
Sorry,
Pete,
Pete.
he needed 3 more points from Giannis, who fouled out of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what he's been watching.
they're in double
getting
OT now.
hyped for
You're beat,
this
bro.
whole time.
You're beat. But
Thanks.
but we're completely joking, by the way. He's still in the fucking game, Pete. Yes.
Wait, he is?
Yes.
Oh, I totally thought he
Yes,
fouled out.
he's still in the game.
Completely- He was right there on
He
the
was
TV.
right there on
I
the
didn't fucking
TV.
notice. I was staring at Dame.
So you're good, Pete. He
Oh, it's
might
funny
do
as
it. He
hell.
might do it.
I
Don't
swear
worry.
to God, I thought he fouled out before. I saw him go to the bench before. I totally.
Bro, you
thought-
guys were all in on that shit. Like,
That
I'm
was
kind
good.
of like, that's kind of scary. That
You got to
guys
be
all-
good at acting,
yeah.
man. It's just that simple, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna sit back with my butt crack
The
sticking
ball
out.
game.
But nah, all in all, I love this Tennessee Titans offseason. And for a team that, you know, was going to be a long rebuild, they expedited that. And they're saying, look, Will, you're either our guy or you're not. This is the season. Go prove it. And if not, the Titans have put themselves in a good position to go get a rookie, to go get a different quarterback in the future. Maybe a guy wants to go sign there or something like that. So who knows? But yeah, Titans are definitely big time winners of this offseason. They had money and they used it. So, all right. Another team, premium draft capital, big time trade this offseason. The Chicago Bears decided, Justin Fields, you ain't our guy.
out.
Caleb Williams, you might be our guy.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, DJ Moore,
Yeah.
y'all are definitely our guys.
Oh yeah.
So they paid DeAndre Swift.
What?
They went and traded for Keenan Allen.
What?
I don't know what other moves they made that were big time moves,
They
but
did
those
something.
they did something else. But yeah, you have the 1st and the 9th pick. It's a big offseason for Ryan Poles. And this Bears team's looking pretty damn good. So what do we think of the Bears offseason all in all?
It's funny how like Yeah, sure. The team's looking a lot better, but the first move of free agency was signing DeAndre Swift.
Yes.
So that was interesting.
Yes.
The Keenan Allen trade is huge. I think he's a perfect complement to DJ Moore. And yeah, Caleb's gonna be should be the number one pick, and he's got all the talent in the world, and he's got a pretty good team that most number ones can't say that. They can't say that they have weapons, they have a solid defense, and so it should be interesting to see what happens.
And he's stylish as fuck.
Oh, he's stylish as fuck. You saw his pink
I
phone
did.
case, and
I did.
when that guy with his pink phone case and his painted nails is just torching your favorite team. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be sick.
I love it.
Yeah, no, the Bears cooked. They kind of took the same approach that the Titans took, where they just tried to surround their young quarterback with as much talent as possible on both sides of the ball. Retaining Jalen Johnson, huge for them.
Right.
Getting Keenan Allen, he might be aging, but he's a guy who underneath as a safety blanket, when things get out of structure and finding the right spot to be open, he's a guy who's only going to help Caleb Williams. DeAndre Swift, I don't think he's that good, but I do think he is better than Roschon Johnson as of right now, and Khalil Herbert. So,
yeah, they got a three-headed thing back there.
So I think he'll help. It was an overpay, but he is talented. He's not the worst ever. So I think they did a good job. They still have another first-round pick outside of Caleb Williams too. So
I will say, you did say Keenan's getting old, but he still did have the best season.
Best season of his career last season.
So Keenan is a dog. Still a dog. DJ Moore, obviously a dog. Cole Kmet, you signed Gerald Everett, Tony Pollard, DeAndre, all these running backs. DeAndre Swift, you obviously have Roschon, as you said, Khalil Herbert. There's a lot of weapons here for a rookie quarterback to step into. It's comfortable. Yeah, they did everything they could to make sure that a rookie is stepping into an advantageous situation, and there's not going to be these growing pains that most first overall picks would have going to a shit team and just having no weapons, no offensive line, Bryce Young, and being in a terrible situation. No, they made sure they set this guy up for potential success in his rookie season. So, yeah, I mean, Big Poles is doing his thing.
Wielding that big pole. That's the point I was going to make, was the Bryce Young thing that you touched on. You think these teams like the Bears, like the Titans, saw that last year, that Stroud had the season he had? And obviously it's, Stroud is the better quarterback, there's no question about it. But they saw Stroud have the season he had and have the team he had, and they saw Bryce have the season he had and have the team he had, and saw that, these guys, their talent just isn't enough. Like, especially when they're so young and so inexperienced, like, we have to put a good squad around them, and that's what they did. Definitely think that that might influence them a little bit. You see that over the past couple of years, where these guys get drafted to terrible situations and don't look like the number 1 pick, the number 5 pick. So, yeah, good for the Bears, man.
It's not fair to expect these guys to waltz in to a bad situation and just turn things around.
Yeah.
You're looking at these guys as the savior of your franchise. So it's tough. Like, obviously, Bears fans are going to look at Caleb and be like, yo, you're the savior of our franchise. But you're not going to have to do as much coming in as a rookie as you're expected as the first overall pick. Right. You can turn it around and hand it to one of 3 running backs that are going to be pretty damn capable. You'll have a solid enough offensive line in front of you and a shit ton of weapons and guys with a whole lot of experience catching the football and making plays. So, and then a defense that's ever improving and was amazing down the stretch.
One of the best in the league down the stretch. Yeah.
So I think the Eberflus culture set in a little bit, and I think we're about to see this Bears team make some noise in that NFC North. It's going to get a whole lot more crowded up there. Yeah, especially if Caleb Williams is that guy.
If he's that guy right out of the gate, they're going to be a problem.
Yes, scary hours if Caleb is him from day one. Is there any other teams that we were considering speaking on?
I think we pretty much
off the top. I don't even remember because I know
everyone. Oh, the Falcons.
Just quick. Yes, absolutely the Falcons.
Perk Cousins.
Let's go, baby.
Perk Cousins.
I love it, man. I love it.
He got paid.
Yes. Whoever Kirk Cousins' agent is,
I had
needs
his name
to
last time. I forgot it.
needs to negotiate every deal for this country for the remainder of time. Stole that straight off the Pat McAfee
I would
show,
love
but
to sit and talk with him and be like, yo, what's your strategy?
How do you
coming in
do it?
there? Yeah.
How do you do it?
wonder how
What
those
blackmail do you have on
conversations
these
go.
teams? I just need to know because hire me somehow, please. But nah, it's a big move for the Falcons, for a team that has these underutilized and underperforming young weapons that really shouldn't be underperforming.
Yeah.
But they do because they have such a shit quarterback situation. But now, not only did they bring in Kirk Cousins, they brought in Darnell Mooney to be a big-time second receiver. And they brought in a brand new head coach who, I don't know if you watched today's episode of the Pat McAfee Show. They had Raheem Morris on.
Oh, really?
Electric. Electric dude and absolutely jacked.
That's that's that McVay energy rubbing off on him.
He said that in the
Yeah,
interview. He said,
yeah.
whoever touches Sean McVay, straight to a head
Yeah,
coaching
yeah,
job. So
pretty much.
he's like, I got lucky. I got to be with him. And he's like, also, I got to come back to Atlanta where he was an interim coach just a few years ago. And not only that, they hired, I believe it was Zach Robinson, the Rams quarterback coach, to be their offensive coordinator. You run a similar system with Kirk Cousins that you did with Matthew Stafford. Not going to be too much turnover. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I just think this is going to be a very good situation, arguably the best situation that Kirk has stepped into.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's nothing not to love about this team. They're going to be fun to watch. They're going to be really good. Kirk should get the most out of those weapons. I know Kyle Pitts was talking about, he was like, what do you want for the number? And Kyle Pitts was like, man, just throw me the damn ball. I'm tired of this thing getting sailed over my head.
And Kirk
tired of being wide open and it getting thrown to the other team. Like, I can't do this shit no
he
more,
didn't even
man.
take
He
the
didn't
number.
give him the number.
He didn't take the
Yeah, I know.
number.
So he's just not going to throw. So guess who I'm not drafting in fantasy again this year. But no, this Falcons team is exciting, man.
Yeah, I think it was a good move. Anything's an upgrade over Desmond Ridder.
True.
Desmond Shitter.
Yeah,
baby.
they were a good team. Their defense exceeded everyone's expectations last year. Not mine, but everyone else's. Everyone said their defense would be dog. They were pretty good. I didn't really love their offseason in terms of addressing defense, though. They didn't really add any edge. I wanted them to get Bryce Huff really bad.
That would have been huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really address the defense, which I guess, you had a borderline top 10 defense, so I guess you don't need to. But I would have liked to see them make some small move around the edges. They also lost Jeff Okuda
Yep.
and didn't replace him. So, in terms of offense, it's pretty simple. Raheem Morris, I think, should do a great job with this group, too. Like you said, from everything I've seen, any interview or anything, he seems like he's the right guy for the job. Anyone from the McVay coaching tree has been pretty good so far and
Yep.
pretty successful so
Yep.
far. And they have the weapons. They have the offensive line in place. So I think we could see Kirk maybe have his best year of his career
I
coming
pray,
off
man.
a torn Achilles. So it should be fun to watch. The NFC South, it's going to be fun to watch again for me. I know a lot of people think it's boring because a lot of the teams suck, but I love a good, gritty, tough-fought division. So it should be the same thing with them and the Bucks.
And the Saints were damn good down the stretch of last season,
Yeah.
too. So, but yes, it's a wide open division. I would say the Atlanta Falcons are the current
I
favorites.
was going to say, I feel like it's the Falcons to lose.
Yeah, it is the
Yeah.
Falcons to lose now. At this
Probably.
point. I mean, it was the Falcons to lose last
Last
year
year.
for me. So now they have Kirk Cousins. So yeah, they're definitely the favorite. And I think they're going to draft heavy defense too in this
Yes.
draft. So it should be interesting what they do in their draft. But be honest, I'd be pretty shocked if this team misses the playoffs. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
I'm not going to lie.
I expect Dallas Turner to be a
Yeah.
Falcon. But yeah, I love the offseason.
Kirk was getting those Vikings teams in, and I think this team's a little bit better than the Vikings from 2 years
He was off
ago
to a
that
hell
you
of a
guys
start
beat.
last year, too.
Yeah.
Yes, he
cooking.
was. He really
He was off to a hell of a start. But yeah,
Oh
I
my
agree.
God, Kirk was in MVP talks, bro. They started 0-3, ended up winning their next like 3 or 4.
Yeah, they were really getting going before he got hurt. So.
Yeah.
Kirk is a baller, and I want people to understand just how good that man really is. So he's gonna change life for Atlanta, and I'm very happy for the Atlanta Falcons, for a team that dealt with arguably the worst quarterback play in the league last year, aside from the Jets. And now they get to turn to a guy who's top 12 in the NFL. We would hope, coming back from his torn Achilles. So, yeah.
Huge get for
Big
Kirk.
offseason for the Atlanta Falcons. You addressed the best position, the most important position in football. So, yeah. All right. Any other teams we want to mention?
No, I think that's
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
Well,
a mock draft next NFL
I'm
episode.
so hyped for that. I can't wait to do a mock
Do a
draft.
mock draft.
Can't wait to talk a little college
I
prospect.
got a question.
Yo,
Shoot.
This is just my curiosity. What are them boys in H-Town doing
Oh,
besides giving us their?
Oh, those boys in H-Town actually cooked.
those boys in H-Town definitely cooked.
They did
Word.
cook.
Yeah. I'm glad you actually did that. We put that in the chat and we just completely forgot. We glossed over the Houston Texans actually.
yeah.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about the Houston Texans. They had a big time off season.
Joe Mixon.
Joined up. Daniil Hunter is a big get.
Yeah.
One of the best pass
Daniil
rushers in
Hunter.
the entire NFL. I mean, that alone, but they continued to add. They got Azeez Al-Shaair there, who D'Amico Ryans is familiar with, back from San Francisco. It was a great offseason for
Brought
them.
back all their key guys
Yes.
too, which is important.
Yeah.
Brought back Dalton Schultz, Desmond King, Eric Murray, Noah Brown, all those guys. Brought back everyone important. Shit, man. You get a guy like Daniil Hunter, put him next to the best defensive prospect from last year's draft, good things are going to happen. So, huge, massive.
Daniil
Really?
Hunter is jacked.
Yeah, Daniil Hunter is insane.
Maybe the most jacked human I've ever seen.
I was about to say, that man's got a top 3 physique I think I've ever seen from a human being.
You know,
To be 270 pounds and
That
look
takes-
like
that
that,
takes
man.
dedication.
What the
Beyond
hell? If
dedication.
you've never seen a picture of Daniil Hunter, Nick, I strongly suggest you look at that man's arms.
Look up Daniil Hunter shirtless.
How do you
That's
spell
It,
it? Like
it will not
Danielle.
disappoint.
yeah, like Danielle.
It will not disappoint.
Danielle
Hunter.
Hunter.
Danielle Hunter. Don't call him that though. He probably
No,
doesn't like
he'd
it. He probably doesn't
probably
like it all
kill
that
you,
much.
to be honest.
It's either him or Donald.
Oh my God, that's another one, bro.
I feel really weird looking at Daniel Hunter shirtless.
Listen.
You don't need to look at him shirtless. Just look at him in a jersey, and his arms are like.
Nah, you
No,
gotta
look at him shirtless.
He and Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett's another one.
one. Yeah, insane physique.
How is it even possible to
Yeah.
be that massive of a human and have that much like muscle mass while having that little of body fat?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you think? It looks good? You
Pretty-
like that?
Pretty jacked.
What are you asking me right now?
Is he
Properly
jacked?
jocked.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Properly
You're
jacked.
asking me.
But yeah, the Texans had a great offseason, and they're going to be even better next year. I mean, I would expect internal improvement,
They should.
health
yeah.
along the offensive
Especially
line.
considering they don't have their own first-round pick this year because they traded it to get Will Anderson.
Yes.
Mm.
Bringing in a guy like Daniil Hunter instead of the first-round pick, like that's a huge dub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got a top, like Daniil Hunter as a prospect would be like a top 3 pick, you know what I mean?
And your guy, they signed Jeff Okudah, so
Yeah, no, they did good. They brought in Okuda and Mike Ford, some depth at corner. They brought back Desmond King, like I said, so some solid depth behind Derek Stingley.
So
Good
what
point.
makes you such a big Houston guy? Is it Stroud?
He wants to live there because he
Stroud-
sees the
Stroud's
fucking
wanted it.
apartments on.
Yes.
TikTok.
No.
Really?
He does want to live there,
It's a
though.
whole bunch of things. I mean, it is. I do like CJ, but I have cousins in Houston. I've never wanted to live in Texas, but ever since I found out that Houston was in Texas and it wasn't its own state,
Mm.
I've been like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But
When did you find that out?
You know,
when
good
did
thing we do a
CJ get
sports
drafted?
podcast
When did who? Oh,
When
see.
did CJ get drafted?
Oh, last year. Okay.
last year.
Type shit.
Type shit. Type shit.
Don't even know when your boy got drafted. Such a big Houston.
Didn't even know what
Texans.
state he got drafted
Such a
to.
big CJ Stroud fan. Thought he got drafted to the state of Houston.
Bro, real quick, while we're on, we were at Hobart watching the March Madness games the other day, and it's Tennessee is playing on the TV, and they obviously show the scores on the top of the screen, right? So, and the scores, one of them is Illinois, and I'm like, oh, Illinois, they were playing Duquesne. I was like, oh, Illinois is smoking Duquesne, and Pete was like, oh wait, Tennessee and Illinois are the same thing? I go, what? He's like, he's like,
No, let's not do it. No.
no, I gotta do this, bro. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I thought Tennessee's in Illinois. I go, what are you saying right now? I'm like, Tennessee's a state. Illinois is a state. And he's like, really? I was like, yeah, Chicago is in Illinois.
Oh, I was going to ask
Yeah,
them
yeah.
the question. Do you know where Chicago is?
No, I do
I thought
that.
Illinois was in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what he thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought Tennessee was in Texas.
What do you mean?
I feel like
Yeah.
I
See,
feel like
like-
everybody thought that until
Tennessee.
I don't think everybody thought that.
The
'cause
American,
it's
the
one of
American
50
education
states.
system has failed
Has
us
failed.
dreadfully.
Has failed
Well, they
us.
didn't teach us stuff about geography and taxes.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
facts.
Do you think you could not list, but like point out
Oh,
half of the states?
Yo, we
in-
I
should
can
do
point
that.
out
That
every
should be.
state.
That should be a.
No, you cannot.
No.
You
Time out.
didn't even know that Tennessee.
Go fuck myself.
I'm sorry.
kidding.
I'm sorry. You didn't. You thought Tennessee was in Texas, and that Houston was its own state.
Okay,
And
it was
you're
the
gonna
opposite
tell
way,
me you
like,
can point
alright.
where all of
Well,
them
I
are?
can now because I had to educate myself after. I was like, damn, I feel stupid.
We should do that one night, like after the sports segments. We should all try and fill out a blank U.S. map.
Yeah, I'm down for
After
that
hours,
someday.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
We should
definitely an
totally do
after
that.
hours thing right
That'd be
there.
great.
Yo, I got a question. I don't want to go off topic, but I'm going to for about.
We're
Well,
done.
we're
literally
done.
off
We're
top.
done.
Yeah,
We're
we're
just
pretty
chatting
much
now.
done,
Oh, word?
We're just chatting now.
I saw something on
okay.
Instagram today about something about Daniel Jones's cap being higher than Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley's combined.
Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, the Eagles like four.
Wait,
best
Hurts,
offensive
Saquon, who?
players. Hurts, Saquon, and both the receivers, Brown and Smith.
Brown and
Daniel Jones' cap hit? Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
Why?
I think Hurts' contract, as with most quarterbacks, their cap hits are massive at the end of the contract. Saquon, and a lot of the contracts that you see signed during this offseason, like any recent contracts, most of them are front loaded. That's just how they are. So the Saquon contract probably doesn't have a big cap hit in the first year. Devontae Smith is still on his rookie contract, so that's not a crazy cap hit either. But all in all, yes. Yeah. Howie Roseman is a better GM than. Well, look, I love Shane. Give him time to cook.
the Giants were just in such a bad position.
We were.
with
We
Daniel
were in a
Jones.
bad spot with Danny. We were. We got hemmed in.
I remember
to a
saying
corner,
it
pretty
before
much.
that season, and I was like, my biggest fear with Daniel Jones is that he's gonna play good enough where we have to bring him back for the next season, but not good enough where we're convinced he's a franchise guy, and that's exactly what he did. He Fitzpatrick us.
Yeah.
He Ryan Fitzpatrick does.
Yeah, except
Fucking son of a
Fitzpatrick had a
bitch.
better season than he did in his contract year.
True.
So
Well, you think we're gonna release him?
yeah,
You think?
I'm actually
It's very
starting
well
to warm
possible.
up to that
Yeah.
idea.
'Cause,
I'm starting to think that's
After
gonna happen.
after what he said about the cap situation, it's
I
possible.
feel like
Can't let him get
you're-
injured.
I feel like as time goes on, you like that when you used to say you hated JJ McCarthy, and now you're in favor.
I don't think they're gonna cut him if Drew Lock's the guy.
I wouldn't be surprised. To
Really?
be honest.
Oh, I think that's
Bro, you don't
crazy.
want Danny's contract next year to be guaranteed.
I guess
You can't deal with that.
Yeah.
You can't have another season where you're paying this man $40 million. You just can't. So you might have to just be okay with cutting bait. But what were you saying? How I warmed up to the idea, JJ?
Well, no, I was talking about more of Daniel because Daniel had a bad season, but I don't think he's a bad player.
So I always say that I actually think there's an alternate universe where Daniel Jones is a really good quarterback because I think all the talent was there. We failed him. Like, we
Yeah.
miserably failed this dude. Like, by not putting the requisite weapons around him, by not giving him proper offensive line talent. But at the same time, there were glaring flaws in Danny's game that, having bad situations around him didn't help.
Well,
So-
okay, because I'm just a little unfamiliar. I only know JJ McCarthy because I watched
The
Championship.
national championship.
Yeah, but
I don't know much about him either. From my understanding, like a few weeks ago, was that he wasn't up there with like Daniels, and probably still isn't up there with Caleb and Drake, but definitely isn't up there with Caleb and Drake. But I think after he had like private workouts and pro day and everything, he's flown up people's draft
So
stock.
he flew up after the college football season
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Originally, like, he was supposed to be late first, early second.
he had a good combine, right?
He actually didn't test. He didn't test. He didn't even throw. The top four
What?
quarterbacks did not throw. They all selected not to throw, but they were throwing at their pro days. So, like, JJ.
Why would they not throw? Is it because it can only hurt your draft stock?
with these
Is
guys.
that the idea? Yeah, because like they're gonna go in the top 5. Like Caleb and Drake are top 2 picks. Like
they're
why
top
would they?
3
Why would they
picks.
throw? Yeah,
The
exactly.
top 3 picks, and JJ understood that he was already flying into the top 6.
Yeah.
But then you throw it at your pro day, which your pro day is pretty much just a rehearsed throwing session. So like
Right.
everybody's looking good at their pro day, bro. Malik Willis was looking good at his pro day. Zach Wilson made one throw at his pro day that everyone was like, holy shit. Let me fucking bust a nut to this guy.
Let me
real
get
quick.
this, Mormon.
But yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this. With any NFL, with any quarterbacks in general, prospects, they're going to fly up just because of the positional value. But
Right.
also when you have the prototype where he's like 6'3", strong arm, super athletic, played in on a great program, won a national championship, lost 2 games in college, and I don't think he lost any in high school, and just has an awesome story too, where like, you know, he was in the public eye because he was doing meditation before games and stuff.
You know
and he's
what's
been doing that
mad
since high
funny?
school, so.
You say that, and normal people would probably think like, damn, like, that sounds like a good NFL prospect. But my mind went to, damn, like, that sounds like the prototypical NFL quarterback bust. I'm not going to lie. Wasn't that high up there. Came up late. Played on a winning team like all those Alabama quarterbacks that busted.
So that was also different because they didn't bust because they weren't expected to go high. And they never had that, like, for example, like, who you're thinking of the AJ McCarrons. You're thinking of
AJ McCarron went high in the draft, didn't
AJ McCarron was like a 4th round pick.
Mm.
Because nobody saw his NFL traits. He was just good enough for college because they would hand the ball off to Trent Richardson, to Derrick Henry,
Richardson, man.
to all these backs. Like Alabama always had these phenomenal backs. So, like, no, JJ has a different level of arm strength than guys like that. Like, JJ has athletic talent that McCarron didn't have and all this stuff. So I
No,
understand.
I'm not saying he's exactly like he is McCarron. I'm
no,
saying
just these busts. in
having
general.
all those traits. Yeah.
Yeah. And I get it. But when you had a 70+ completion percentage, played for a national champion, and just didn't lose, some stock has to go into that. And the best passer on 3rd down in all of college football, I mean, there's a good traits to have. So I don't know. I love JJ. And I'm not, but by the way, full transparency, I'm not saying we draft him and play him the first year. I think that's a
No.
recipe for disaster
No.
because he's 20. He's only 20 right now, I think.
I think it's one of the worst.
He gives me Zach Wilson vibes, though. That's
Everyone's saying that, and I hate it because they're not at all the same person.
I'm only saying that because they look alike. I feel like
They're so.
a little bit.
yeah, they do. I see what you
Yeah.
mean, but I actually commented on one of the posts where like one of the comments was Zach Wilson. He's like JJ McCarthy gives me Zach Wilson vibes, and I said I hate this comp because the only thing similar about their games is the fact that they're both white and athletic. They're not at all the same quarterbacks. What happened?
Blonde.
Okay, and decent looking white boys. So whatever. JJ is a smarter quarterback. Doesn't make these stupid decisions. Had a higher completion percentage than Zach in college, playing against tougher competition. So I don't know. I'm a big JJ guy. I'm a big JJ McCarthy guy. I like him. I think he'd be perfect sitting behind whoever for a season and learning the offense, learning from Dable. So yeah, I think it's just, you know.
I'm gonna say, what the fuck is Drew Lock gonna teach him?
Well, yeah, but you know, you're not always relying on the quarterback
Right,
to
yeah.
teach you just
Dable.
how to be a
guys,
pro. Like
yeah.
some of these guys have already learned how to be a pro. You know, like Drew Lock should know what it takes to be in an NFL meeting, to be doing this, doing that. Like I would expect that. So
That's stupid. Luka just turned a floater into a lob, and Gafford,
oh, he is playing. There we go.
Gafford turned it into a touch pass back to Luka. It's just not fair, bro.
Speaking
does.
of basketball, though,
Can we talk about how the LeBron-less Lakers just beat the
I
Bucks in
wasn't
double
even going to
overtime?
talk about
Oh, okay.
that.
Yeah,
I was
no,
going
we
to
don't
talk
have
about
to.
March Madness
Oh, yeah. No, that's way
and
better.
what we thought of that first weekend.
First week
It was fucking boring.
It was an underwhelming March Madness
I had a
weekend.
great fucking time.
It was boring.
Well, look. Still a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like watching the game.
But it was an underwhelming-
I also didn't watch
Yes.
every single game. You guys probably watched most of,
I
not every single one.
watched every single
Yeah,
game.
yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair.
It was an underwhelming like relative to typical March Madnesses. Yeah, I would agree.
Well, the favorites went 15-1 in the second round,
Yep.
so that'll ruin it. That'll
that
do it
sucks.
right there.
The only winner was Clemson.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that one.
Right? The favorites went 15-1. The only one that didn't win was fucking Clemson. We were the highest on anyone out of Baylor all fucking
Oh my
weekend.
god, yeah.
I don't even want to fucking talk about it, bro. Honestly.
Guys, our betting experience this March Madness has been, well,
You don't speak for all of us.
mine hasn't been good. Chris did overall pretty well.
Chris has done great.
Chris did pretty well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been electric. For
Yeah.
me.
I've also done really
I've done
well.
awful. I think Trunks has done awful overall.
Trunks is done. Yep, Trunks is in the bin.
I don't, bro. I just feel like March Madness is so hard to like put money on.
It really is.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
so
It's
difficult.
like it's
That's
like,
why it's so fun.
It makes it
because
so.
it's so
That's
much.
why I said, like, it
so
makes
random.
it so much more fun for me because I
Yeah.
don't know the players and the teams all that well. So like betting on it makes it so. I don't even really gamble like throughout the year, but betting on it makes it so much fun.
If I would give myself advice for next year, like, or even just for the remaining, and I wouldn't even touch the remaining games, considering how close and competitive they're gonna be.
You're gonna.
You're
Um,
not.
definitely
touching the
are.
remaining- I already cooked.
I don't know, dude. I'm like tapped out.
Pete,
Like,
stop.
I don't know.
Gonzaga.
Yes.
Gonzaga.
But what I would do more is probably do
Gonzaga,
more
Duke.
straights. Gonzaga, yeah, I do. like
Gonzaga.
That's what you should be doing.
but nobody does that.
I did straights,
Yeah, I know, but yeah, but I'm not.
but
built
I
for
also
losers.
did parlays too. So
Yeah. So the thing is, I think that's probably, I don't know. That's what I would do
I did
different for
straights.
myself next year, because I would definitely be up overall if I just stuck to that. But, go fucking.
All right, so let's just do straights. Let's throw fucking
now
500.
they're like minus 200.
Let's throw
There's not a lot of
500
minus
on it.
100s.
500 on Gonzaga.
that's insane.
500 cents.
500 cents.
500 pennies.
I am down for like 500 dimes. Wait, is that? No, I think it's more. It's more.
Yo, who's better than Ramadan Kyrie? Ramadan Kyrie goes crazy
'Cause, like,
every year.
Nah, you're right. It's $50. Oh shit! Wow, wow. The education
What'd you
system
think it was,
has
bro?
really failed.
What'd you think it was?
Uh,
We need to do like, are you smarter than a fifth grader or something?
I
Not even
lose.
like
I'll
we
be
really
honest.
do.
I probably
get
would
embarrassed.
lose.
They
Yo, these
had
would be
that
fun,
show
like-
at
Yeah,
my
we'll-
school when
we'll
I
do
was
that
in
show.
5th grade, and I'm like, no, I'm not smarter than a fucking
Why
fifth
would I
grader.
be smarter than a fifth
I'm in
grader?
5th grade.
Fifth grade.
Like, bro, it made no fucking sense, honestly.
I mean, given that the competitor is like 35, it makes perfect sense.
No, and
It's like
that's
us
we're
versus
100% doing that. That we're doing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? We will get embarrassed.
Dude, that's actually a great segment. Yo, let us
Yeah.
know if you guys want to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm down 1,000.
Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? We could do like Family Feud or something
That
like that.
would be
yeah.
sick content.
I'm definitely
right
not
there.
smarter than.
I'm definitely not smarter than a
both.
fifth grader.
Bro, I used to like play those like phone games where it was like, are you smarter than a fifth grader? Bro, some of those questions are hard.
Hard as fuck. We should
Yeah.
revisit that shit and see how we do now.
What is photosynthesis? The process in which photos.
Not even gonna lie, if you asked me that and didn't.
What is
say it,
photosynthesis?
I know. You already told me. And
No, I didn't.
No,
That's not
he
the
did
answer.
not.
Pete.
He didn't.
Wait, no, I do fucking know. Wait,
Nah,
we know who
you
definitely ain't
seriously,
smarter than a
seriously.
third
What
I've been out
grader.
of school for a minute, but it's
You already
when.
told me it's crazy.
No,
bro.
one second.
Pete.
It's when the sunlight, the plants take sunlight and then they create energy
Good job.
or oxygen.
There you go.
Yep, good job. Okay, cool.
Oh,
Bro, that I almost fucking.
That was rough.
You said you
That was
already
scary.
told
You already
me?
told me.
Yeah. No, I didn't want you to ruin it because I was like, wait, let me think, bro. Like,
I said the process in which photos synthesize.
what is like the scientific thing? It's like there's 5 scientific steps of how does it go? It goes like
You mean the scientific method?
hypothesis.
Yeah.
And then I
No,
don't
you
know
have a
the-
problem first.
Problem. Not for. All right.
You
All
can't
right,
have a
good. I'm
hypothesis
dropping the
to
mic, bro.
nothing.
I'm done. Hypothesis to thin air.
You have a problem, hypothesis, experiment, conclusion, I think, or some shit like that. I think it's 4 steps. I don't
Better
remember.
than me. I didn't know what the fuck
Something
you were
like
talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Science, I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked in science. Yeah, I'm not getting
Isn't
shit
like
right.
identifying your variables a part of that too? That
I
process.
think
I
that's
think that was like more advanced.
Oh.
I was like in first grade when I learned the scientific method. If they told me like identifying variables, my
No,
first
I
grade
remember the
ass would
first
have
time I
been
got
like,
told to identify a
what?
variable, I was like, nah. I was like,
Bro,
fuck.
Pete was probably so lit in like second grade.
Nah, I talked so fucking much.
Still do.
You were definitely a horrible like kid to the teachers.
No.
Oh, wait, whoa.
No,
What
never.
the fuck?
Because I was a bad student.
You and Trunks were horrible people as children.
That's not true.
I was so bad to teach.
You were rough, Chris.
You were bad. I remember. Yeah.
Why?
I've heard-
Why? What the fuck did I do?
Bro, you throw a book at a teacher?
No,
No.
that's insane.
Who'd you throw a book at?
I threw a book out the window.
Oh, okay.
Why would I throw a book at a teacher? That's assault.
'Cause you're an asshole.
Jesus. No, I took a book, and since I sat next to
Way
the
to point
window,
fingers at me.
chucked that shit out I chucked that shit straight out
What
the
kind of
window.
book was it?
Climbing Mount Everest. You could look it up. Me
Name
and
10
Trunks.
books. Name 10 books.
I
Name
can't.
10 books. Name 10 books.
You're asking for a
No,
lot
we
here.
all named 10 books and we were in
Yeah, we've all
Pukana, so we could
successfully
never
named
be
10 books.
asked that again.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
we earned our stripes.
Yeah.
I can name 10 books.
Yeah, we all of us and
Bro,
all
you
of
can
us
name
named
10
You
books.
can name 10 books.
Yeah,
Come on.
you need to name 10 books now. Yeah,
Right now on the spot.
all of us have done
Right
it
now, name
before.
10 books.
Oh shit.
All
right.
Oh shit.
The Outsiders.
Okay.
all right, let's
It's a great book, by the way.
Yeah, I
It's
like
like-
that book.
Hungry.
I've read like 6. No, don't give him hints.
He didn't hear me.
You could use books that have more
like,
books from that book.
Can
count
I
as
use
separate books.
like Dr. Seuss?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
Harry
Is it-
Potter.
Is it a book?
Well, what's the name of the Harry Potter books? Can't just say Harry Potter.
You gotta give me one.
Okay.
Yeah, and we all dealt with this too. Yeah, like
what's that kid's
we got
name?
pressed in the middle.
What's
of it.
that?
Harry Potter?
No,
Daniel
Percy
Radcliffe.
Jackson. Percy Jackson.
Percy
You can't
Jackson.
do that.
That's a character. Yeah,
No,
there's a
that's
full
the book,
But that
No,
might
it's-
actually be
There's
the
more.
book.
No, there's more to the title.
No,
It's like,
Nope, there's more.
I
to
think
the
the
title.
first one might actually just be.
Nope,
Percy-
it's Percy Jackson
Bro, I'm
and
not
something
gonna
else.
You're
lie,
sure of
naming
this.
10 books
100%.
is super fucking humbling. Like,
All right,
Bro, just go for the
the
easy one.
48 Laws of Power. Okay, I know that one.
okay.
Brother, you just said, "Can I name Dr. Seuss?"
Dude,
We said
let him
yes.
Yeah.
cook, let him-
Okay,
yeah,
so the
let-
cat in
let
the
him
hat,
cook.
Mama Llama, Red Pajama.
yeah.
Mama Llama, red pajama. What a pull.
I hope nobody's watching this.
I hope,
I love
I hope they
Dr.
are. That's
Seuss.
kind of what we do
You guys know
here.
Bangles?
Bang
You know,
YouTuber?
bang, yeah, how he says like,
Yes.
yeah. So now I play Madden. So now when I get a pick, I'm just fucking looking up what Dr. Seuss book
I
is
love-
screaming to Gallows
Love
ear.
it.
Yo, we're good at Madden now.
You gotta have.
Yeah.
Are you really?
We won like 4 games in a row last night. Me and
Damn, I'm
Frank.
ass at Madden.
We're good now.
All right, go for it. Let's go. Continue.
Wait,
I
what
thought we were
we
gonna
were
brush
at?
over it.
Shit,
I thought we were brushing over
I
that. I
thought
was
we
like-
finished.
No,
What
no,
we
you're
were
at
at?
I was
5.
at 5. Okay. Let me think.
Oh boy,
This is tragic.
I want to give
this
you
is
hints so
really bad.
No,
There's one really obvious one that you're missing.
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean one really obvious?
No. By the author that we were at.
Okay.
The Dr. Seuss author?
Oh wait, are you not talking about?
I'm
that?
not talking
Oh,
about
there
Dr.
is one.
Bro, there's a bunch.
What's the
What do you
most?
mean?
No, but there's one that everybody should list when they're making this list because it was the first book ever printed. Also, by the way,
Oh.
Come on.
and it's the most sold book of all
Okay,
time,
wait,
bro.
I got it. I got a
you
cheat
got
He ain't
code.
getting
I got it. No. I got a cheat code. Who were the Wright brothers? Who is Anne Frank? Who
This is
is
fucking bullshit.
Yo.
That's fair.
Bibliographies.
I think that qualifies.
With the giant heads.
It
yeah.
does
No,
qualify.
It's a book, yeah.
It qualifies.
The challenge is to name 10 books. Like it's not that complicated.
All right, so I need 2 more. Right?
Just name
Yeah.
a
And
historical
there's
figure
two
at this point.
such easy ones that you could.
Such easy one, bro.
First
Yeah,
book
yeah.
ever made. How the
Yeah.
fuck do you know that?
First, what do you
Come
mean?
on, think, bro.
Do you actually not know it too?
Yeah, I know it.
Oh,
First
okay.
book was when I think I'm stuck between like 2.
Are you
That's
sure?
The first ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay, I'm just
sure.
making
I'm
sure.
pretty sure I know what you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about.
Good shit. I'm just making sure. Just making sure.
This is crazy.
I'm
Oh my God.
Fumbling.
I want to make this a clip out.
I'm not saying that. Bro. To me, that doesn't count as a book.
You can't. No, you can't. You can't give him
I
hints.
didn't give him a hint. See, you fuck.
I know-
I'm trying to
I
help
think-
you and you're blowing on my.
I think I know what you said. I don't think it's
Bro,
family
he's giving
friendly
me
though.
Bad hints, bro.
No, I said it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's family.
No, that doesn't count.
It
It's a
definitely
book?
counts, but now it
Somebody
doesn't.
said that when we
But now it doesn't count.
Can I phone a
'Cause I
friend,
said-
bro?
No.
No.
I tried phoning.
Do you just say phone a friend?
I tried
Oh.
phoning you low key.
What the fuck we playing? Who wants to be a millionaire?
Put me
Oh,
on
eh,
speakerphone.
Wait, I read a book named Escape from Alcatraz in 8th grade.
I'll believe you.
Type shit.
Yeah,
Y'all
it's
don't
a
know
book.
that book?
Yeah, it's a
No.
book.
All right.
We don't know that, but you can't name 10. You can't go to not know books.
You can't name the most
Y'all know
famous
that
book of all
3
time.
of them were Who Is Who Are.
Bro,
The literal most famous book of all time, and you're overthinking
Oh
it.
my god.
the famous.
It's in every house, or almost
I don't
every
know if I have
house.
it in
Bible?
my house.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Bible.
okay. Type shit.
Yes.
But is that a book though?
Yes.
Oh, dog.
What do you mean?
Wait. Define the book though,
BallGame.
What else? What else would it? What else would it be?
Like that.
bro. Define book though. Is book like paper in between like hard, like? Does that make it a book or?
No, I know what he's trying to say.
I
I
get-
know it makes no sense.
Okay,
But like,
time
what
out.
I'm trying to say.
I get what you're getting.
Because
at.
originally
It
the
is a
Bible
book.
was
Bro,
not in a book.
No, but the Bible is written scripture, so yes, it's a book. If it's like a transcript of something,
Well,
then no,
books,
I'm not.
I'm sure
gonna
books
consider it.
didn't always have cover to cover.
Okay, so then that's magazines.
Wait, what?
Magazine's a book.
What are
Oh.
you saying?
Magazines a book, so I could have said. I can't name a
No,
fucking
you can't
magazine.
say like
but-
Sports Illustrated, bro. Can't
New
say
York
like.
Times,
Do you think the Bible was a magazine originally?
bro, newspaper. I
That's what
don't
Tom's
fucking.
My God, newspaper? I don't know.
read all about it. Read all about it.
Newspaper.
Extra. Jesus died.
No, I think newspaper is like a-
Yo, he's resurrecting soon.
Fucking crazy.
It is, though. You saw that?
Bro. What the fuck
Yo.
are you talking about?
No, he is. Trunks actually spit. The Bible is a collection of books, but what the?
Dean's in the chat. That's Dean.
Oh, Dean. I'm sorry, Dean. Yeah.
No, he is.
Wait.
Did
what do
you
mean?
see that?
Did you see that?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking about, like, have you looked in the sky, like, recently?
Brother, I'm talking about Easter.
What the fuck are you saying?
Bro, he's not gonna come back on Easter, bro. He's gonna.
He did a lot of years ago. That's exactly what he did.
Oh, chill.
What? No. No, we're not doing anything crazy. Holy shit, that's amazing. Your knowledge.
Oh, it's so
I saw
funny,
something
bro.
About
No,
stars and shit.
honestly, yo.
I
didn't
don't
see
know
anything.
what you're getting.
We
at, bro.
everybody.
I was
in
just
this-
saying that he
everybody in this
resurrected on
room has
Easter.
named 10 books officially. I think.
I think he's still missing one, but I'll give it to him.
No, we're good. Yeah. No, so how did we even get from?
Wait,
how
I
did
want
we
to know
even get
what
onto
books you guys would.
that? No, well, we already named 10 books, and it's gonna take
Yeah,
another
we
like.
earned our
Alright, but
stripes.
just
We're
throw
good.
obvious ones that I should have got.
Green eggs and ham.
That's
Yo,
what I was gonna say. I didn't
Mockingbird.
think that was a book though. I
Kill
thought that was-
The Angry
Yeah.
I
Caterpillar.
said the dictionary. That's so easy.
Of Mice and Men.
Yo,
Nope.
Game of Thrones.
Gone with the Wind.
Didn't know that was a book.
Hunger Games.
Thought that was a game.
Hunger Games, yeah.
Hunger Games. I should have got that.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Sorry,
I thought Game of Thrones
I
was a
thought
game.
that was a game.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh shit!
it's a
Yeah.
book.
The
well,
Adventures of Captain Underpants.
Oh, those were the
Diary
best,
of a
bro.
Wimpy Kid.
What was the last book you guys read?
You just said you're late.
Couldn't remember.
No.
It was like a finance book.
What was the last book I read?
Yeah.
It was like day
Does
traders
my
101.
fucking textbook count?
No.
Then
Like
no.
like for leisure. Have you ever read a book for leisure?
No.
Yes, I have
Nah.
actually. I actually bought a few books. The last one I read, it was a while ago though. I have like 3 books over there that I was planning on reading that never did.
I think the last book I read was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People or some shit like that. 7
Okay.
Habits of Highly Successful People.
last one I read was It
Interesting.
by Stephen King.
I read like half of American Sniper a couple years ago.
What's that one by Beethoven? I mean,
All right, brother.
I meant, wait.
And with that, ball game.
What do you learn? Like, what do you do in school?
Holy shit.
Beethoven's crazy.
Beethoven?
Let's wrap it up on
What's that book by Beethoven?
I was talking about The Black Raven by No, it's just called The Raven.
Edgar Allan
by
Poe?
That's a
Edgar Allan
poem.
That's a poem.
That's a book, though.
Bro, talking about some
Poem
Beethoven.
doesn't count as a book.
Not Poe's book. A book
No.
Actually, I think the book of his poems is called The Raven.
Yeah, I think we're done here. That's what I think.
You read Edgar Allan Poe's
Yeah.
poem
Raven?
book.
For school?
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, for school, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I read it in high
Oh.
school too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not for like fun. Like,
Have you ever
Beethoven.
read a book for leisure?
what does that mean?
Like just
For fun.
just for fun? Yeah.
We have so failed. America's just failed.
Pete, have you?
children,
One
man.
time I
What?
Have you read a book for leisure? Either of you?
For leisure? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said yeah. I read it.
Oh, finance book, right? Yeah.
It wasn't really for leisure. I was kind of stressed. I was getting FOMO in the market, and I was like, "Fuck, I gotta read this shit."
No,
now.
the last one I read like cover to cover was I think The Outsiders in like 8th grade. But yeah, that was it.
That was a good book.
That book was awesome. You ever see the movie?
The movie's pretty good too.
Yeah, the movie's great.
Never seen it. Never read it.
I
never
actually
seen it.
just tried to read The Outsiders recently. The Outsiders, and I got to about like let's say the first page is this big. I got about like here.
First page is this big. He got here.
It was stuck on the
Would you read the?
did not try to read that. You didn't attempt.
First of all, you
'Cause I
shouldn't.
looked
Yeah.
at it and I said, "Damn, that's a lot of words," and I shut that motherfucker.
So you didn't try.
Most books are.
Bro, I opened it.
Most pages are about. This is insane.
Well, I think we can all agree that watching BallGame podcast is much better than reading books.
Yeah, only losers read
Yeah.
books.
I'm gonna be dead honest with you. This had to be one of the most fun segments I've ever done in this podcast.
I was so productive.
10 books.
Brain dead.
I learned so
But
much. I
fun
learned
as
so much
fuck.
about
Yeah,
the American
sorry, I guess
education
brain
system.
rot's
Brain
in,
rot, yeah.
Brain rot's in is trending, right?
Yeah, brain rot's trending.
Oh man, that was amazing.
Wrap it up.
If Luca hits
Isn't it
this,
crazy how
I'll
I
eat a
could set up
person.
the whole
Oh.
podcast, but I can't name 10 books.
You have some serious knowledge.
Hey man, it's
on-
all about marketable skills. They're never gonna ask you in an interview.
I was about to
you
say-
can't put how many books you read on a resume.
Bro,
What?
imagine you go to an interview and they ask you to name something. I'll be like, on it. I've practiced.
And you start,
I've practiced.
bro, and you spit out 3 Dr. Seuss books, and they're like, "Yeah, you ain't getting it, brother."
Bro, the fuck is wrong with spitting out Dr. Seuss? But yeah, here's the thing. Here's what I would say. You asked me to name 10 books. You didn't say they had to be 300 pages or more. So, I'm going to take the easy way out. Why would I make things more difficult? Work smarter, not harder. It's that simple.
And that's the message of the day, kids.
That is the message of the day. All right.
Sir.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all of our socials. We hit 1K recently. Be sure to go cop that damn hoodie. We'll be dropping merch, more merch, in some due time, so keep an eye out for that as well. But yeah, thank you guys. If you stuck around for this whole thing, you really just got quite the entertainment. So, all right. Name 10 books. And with that,
Ball
game.
game.